The following is a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Two of the best ever are facing off at Clutch Chess Legends in St. Louis. Garry Kasparov said he needed all the luck he could get, but when you're the GOAT, you make your own luck. After winning his first rapid game and another blitz, he is clearly in the driver's seat. Day 3 of action-packed chess. Coming up next.
Hello chess fans, and welcome to the newly reopened St. Louis Chess Club. We reached the final day of the Clutch Chess, the Legends, the match between Garry Kasparov and Fischer Anand. But the final day is not only about the title. We are witnessing actually the history coming alive. We are witnessing two great players competing against each other. Now, every point matters. So let's go back to the studio and start the final day with Maurice, Dash and Yasser.
It all comes down to the final day. Garry Kasparov has established a sizable lead over Viswanathan, but it's not over yet. Still a lot to play for as we present day 3 of exciting Fischer Random chess from the newly renovated St. Louis Chess Club. And it all starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome in. I'm James Dash, and as always, I'm happy to be joined by Grandmasters Yasser, Seirawan, and Maurice Ashley as we dive into the final day of Clutch Chess, the Legends. It's good to see you both. James. But Yasser, it's all coming down to this, and we're looking for more out of Viswanathan.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, James. Hello everyone, and welcome to our live coverage of Clutch Chess, the Legends. Vishy has not found his form. Let's just be clear about that. Something is missing. But today, and this format, allows him to make a comeback in the tournament. But he's got to start winning games. That's what it's all about. James, where do we stand in the match, actually?
And that's exactly the point you're making, right? Because the scoreline, as it sits, currently sports a solid lead here for Garry Kasparov through 2 days of action. 8.5 points is his total score to 3.5 on the other side for Viswanathan Anand. $5,000 of bonus money already in Garry's pocket with a ton more to play for. But as we pull out of this scoreline, I turn to you, Maurice, because we already had the format mentioned and how much it supports a comeback as Vishy chases the likes of a Garry Kasparov.
And Garry Kasparov is an amazing front runner, quite sprightly, as you see. Even the camera can't keep up with him right there. And listen, Vishy has his back against the wall, no question about it. And he hasn't shown that alacrity, that incisiveness that he normally does. But thanks to this scoring format, he can get not just a tie in the match, but actually a lead. 2 wins, that's all he needs, 3 points per game, and it will be enough for him to overtake Garry. Can he pull it off? I'm looking for a win in one of the first 2 games for him to do so.
Yeah, it's a 5-point differential. Currently, you mentioned there, it's 3 points for victory as we're getting a look at Viswanathan making his way into the St. Louis Chess Club ahead of his matchups today. 4 games to play, 2 rapid, 2 blitz, so still, again, well within reaching distance when it comes to mathematics, but you got to show it to us over the board.
Absolutely. He needs a win, and there he is. Walked in with Liam, his helper, I want to say, for the match. Fabi is helping Garry. Liam, the coach of Webster University, on hand to give Vishy a helping hand as well.
Now, as we await the reveal of the position, I have to imagine it's a tough position for chess players to be in, where normally in a standard, in standard format of chess, you could go back and you could maybe talk to a second overnight, come up with some strategies about how you want to approach the next day and maybe turn your fortunes around. Here, you kind of just have to sit and stew and wait to see what that position is going to be.
The reveal first.
And during the day itself, of course, they cannot talk to their seconds as we are repeating positions, 4 positions in a row. And it looks like we do have the position now, position number 294.
294, as you can see there. Take a quick look at it. We'll dive deeper into the analysis of the position here in the studio as well. But that's it. Now the players themselves have 15 minutes to discuss with their helpers, with their seconds, as we look for the back rank to shuffle here. We've got cornered queens once again.
Bishop.
And immediately, I'm looking at the fact that the bishops are actually on
Wonderful.
normal starting squares.
Yes.
So where we had some problem bishops in our previous 2 days of play, okay, a little bit of normalcy, at least when it comes to that minor piece.
Right. 2 pawns lack protection, the h2 and c2 pawn. Knight takes c2, check and mate.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure a lot of beginners would go for that one. And also, only problem children, so to speak, but I'm not seeing it as that big a deal. The knight on h1, usually you see a knight on h1, you say, oh, that's horrible. But knight to g3, one move, and it's on an attacking square, especially if you castle kingside.
Right.
The queen in the corner, just a quick b3 will solve that problem, or even b4 if you want to. So everything in play. This looks to me, with the bishops being healthy, a rook already on the central file.
Very nice.
This looks like a great variant to play. 294. I think we'll keep this one.
Yeah, I think a b-pawn first move might be a pretty solid prediction early on here. Let's take a look at the format when it comes to our 3 days of play. It's been 12 rounds of Chess 960, 8 already in the bank, 4 more to come today. No draw offers before the completion of Black's 60th move. We've got 2 rapid, that's 25-10, followed by 2 blitz, 5-3. Coming your way today. Take a look at that scoring point, though, at the bottom of the screen. That's perhaps the most important element coming into this third and final day of play. It's 3 points for win and 1.5 points for a draw, and that's why Vishy is still very much in it when it comes to this Clutch Chess, the Legends.
Absolutely.
Now, from the format, let's look at the schedule. It's been 2 days of action already. We conclude things here on Friday the 10th. As I just mentioned, it's games 9 and 10 will be played as rapid, games 11 and 12 as blitz. Coverage has already began, so you better be here. And if you're not, make sure you let your family and your friends know to tune in to watch these 2 legends do battle in our final day of Clutch Chess action. From here, it's about what they're playing for, the money at stake. $144,000 in total prize fund, with $70K going to the winner and $50K to the runner-up. If all things are tied after 12 games, it would be split evenly, but I've got a little factoid for you. There's no possibility of a tie because they sit at 5-point differential and the points that can be gained today for each win and a draw. It is impossible for them to be tied. Somebody is coming away a winner of our matches overall. Let's take a look at some more information about this bonus money, because things get interesting when you take a look at that $24,000 that isn't up in the normal prize purse. We've seen some of it already given away to Garry Kasparov, and a lot of it has already moved from rounds 1 through 10 all the way to games 11 and 12. Any draws get pushed to those final 2 games of the day. If game 11 is a draw, though, all the bonus money from that game goes straight into game number 12. So we could be looking at some really big money matches to close out the event here. Let's look at the current totals when it comes to games 11 and 12. Given the final draw that we saw take place just yesterday, there is $6,500 riding on each of our final 2 games of the day. Of course, those numbers can go up pending the results of our first 2 matches today. And then, like I said, if game 11 ends in a draw, right now that would already be a $13,000 game 12, Maurice. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Indeed, that is certainly a good chunk of change for those last 2 games. Gives Vishy some extra motivation to close this out, but there's going to be a lot of pride in that champion as well, as he does not want to come on an entire match not having won a single game so far in 12 games. Come on now, that's unheard of. As we see there, Garry analyzing with, what do they call a super second?
Yeah.
You got one Fabiano Caruana on your team. You can't be bad.
Not shabby. Not too shabby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking at Garry and Garry and Fabi, looking at kind of a French defense style of play, but this one featuring b7, b6. That's a surprise. You know, we talk about the Fischer Random spins the game at the start, and then you try to get back to familiar pattern. Check this out. I'm just going to throw out something on my board for just a moment. e4, e5, bishop c4, bishop c5.
This is too normal for me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get some incredible normalcy in just a moment as well. D3, d6, knight here, knight here. I'm just putting some moves on the board. And if this doesn't look like a Joko piano,
I mean, it looks very much
like a Joko,
like,
right?
We are very much in well-known territory. Now you're moving the knight around. And
I mean, you'd be kind of thinking this. Yeah, this is a Joko piano.
the only problem,
the queens are a little weird.
That queen, and
Yeah, they're
you
a
can
little
play a move
weird.
like b4 as white,
Yeah.
and unleash the beast. Queen will come into the game quite rapidly with some tempi as well. So no problem here. I
Or
just
the
think
player's getting a normal
if this
position.
were the position that we played normal chess,
Yeah.
most people would say, okay, it's just a chess position.
Right.
It's a slight difference, just a little challenge to these players. I think the big challenge, though, is how do you create something that maybe surprises the opponent?
Yeah, and that was what Bobby and Garry were just looking at was this is a surprising. You don't see this battery set up that very early with the queen and bishop from an opening position. So I can imagine this might be a surprise.
Yeah, we're talking about how to find some surprises, and I think onus is on Vichy rather to throw some surprises Gary's way if ultimately he wants to grab some wins. Because following yesterday, Maurice, we had some surprises in the Vichy camp, but not in a good way.
Not at all in a good way, and certainly not the way Vichy wanted it to turn out after having made that serious faux pas in losing on time in a great, let's just, no point putting a point on it, it's a winning position that he had and manages to sit there and let his time evaporate. And then in the Blitz game, well, things did not go so well there. In fact, it ended in embarrassing fashion in the first Blitz game. And then the next one, it was all Garry, in fact, in those last two games. Let's take a look.
And look at this. Garry got in a very nice bump in the bump. He's doing everything with tempo. He's
clamping down right now.
Look like he's in cruise. Oh, no! The blunders.
He blundered.
The blunders. Oh,
Rook
blunder.
C7, Vichy, what just happened? As you can see, the rook hanging on C7, and Garry has won again.
But Vichy right now has no options.
None. There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to move in the position.
I would be playing Rook F2, trade queens.
What do you do now? He's just going to keep going back and forth.
Vichy would be
done.
thrilled.
He's made the same move
Yes. This is
six times in a row already.
this
Now
is-
the queens come off the board.
massive benefit for Vichy.
Definitely. And by the way, next moves are King G1, King H1. And I'm saying as soon as you play G4, G3, I'm locking it up. Whichever way you go.
is.
If you go
G4.
G3, I'm going to play H3. If you go H3, I'm going to play G3.
There's no way to break through.
Looks like a draw.
And now Garry is shaking his head.
Wow.
But I think the time influenced him in this game because he didn't bother looking for any sophisticated attacks with the time being a factor. And Vichy's saying, you got nothing.
Here we
and
go.
both
There it
happy
is.
to draw.
And at some point, you
I
needed
think-
that break. You didn't find it. There was no pathway forward. The handshake's extended. It will be a draw to conclude our fourth game of the day.
And as you can see, that Game 3 blunder left us all speechless, which I could tell you, with this panel, it's very, very hard to do. And Garry, again, in the driver's seat, but 2 games is all Vichy needs out of 4. He hasn't won a single game so far in this match out of 8. I would never have had that on my bingo card.
No.
And there is that man. He's looking pretty lonely here, but he is with someone at the moment analyzing.
And that is the position that they're analyzing. Fischer Random 294.
Hunting that first victory, as you mentioned here on the Clutch Chess stage. What's been missing from Vichy's play? What is that extra bit of oomph that he needs to actually come away with a decisive victory here today?
It's form. In those very, very crucial moments, he's backing off, like that move Queen G2. His queen was on H1. He just, the tepid little move King B1 in a position that really called for him to go for the gusto. He backed off. It was like he's unsure. He hasn't found that form that we know he's capable of.
Are we just so fortunate, though?
Yes.
I mean, I'm watching.
We're spoiled.
Garry Kasparov
I know.
and Fabiano Caruana.
I know.
Here you're watching Lee Kwang Lim, who's a fantastic player. For those of you who don't know, this guy was World BLITZ champion, analyzing with the Viswanathan Anand, and we just get to sit back and watch chess royalty at work. It's just incredible.
Exactly.
As somebody who was well outside the chess world not too long ago, these are two names that extend far beyond the chess world, and again, I think speaks rather to their mythic status or legendary status, if you will. So, what a treat it is to be able to see these two play here on the stage over the course of the last 3 days. All prefacing even more chess action to come across the month here in St. Louis.
It's going to be a very, very busy month as the newly renovated club seeks to not only send a welcome to Garry and Vishy, but the U.S. Championships. Round 1 is going to be beginning on Sunday. And after the U.S. Championships, there's more clutch.
We got more clutch. That's exactly right. Clutch Chess Champions Showdown, October 27th to 29th.
Wow.
So mark your calendars. Look at those 4 faces right there. Of course, we've already gotten a look at Fabiano Caruana playing second to Garry Kasparov, but he'll be center stage in just a couple weeks' time. In Hikaru Nakamura, we got Magnus Carlsen, of course, the world champion, Incr. Come on.
Talk about being
the biggest
spoiled.
brand.
Come on.
And by the way, this will be position 518, the classical standard position that we all know and have been playing all our lives. It will not be chess 960, but they will battle it out for 3 days for serious dollars. It was 144,000 here. It's going to be 412,000 there.
Just a little something to whet your appetites then, in case the chess action here and the U.S. Championships to come isn't enough to satiate those at home.
I can see Garry already sacrificing a pawn as they're analyzing. With Fabi there. Fabi's got a bishop on h2. Notice that, because I was about to show something and interesting that Fabi went in the same direction. Liam, again, we're seeing b7, b6. We got a pawn on f4. They're trying to bring the knight to f2.
2 instead of g3, which looks so natural. Maybe to keep the fianchetto possible still, to be able to play g3 and bishop g2. That's avoiding,
I hear you.
The e4 variant. And this is maybe what we're talking about. Could we have a little wrinkle surprise? You don't want to just go down standard lines. You could play that Gioco Piano, just go into it.
Right.
But maybe we have a surprise. Shock him with a different move order that he may not suspect. That is something that Vishy really needs if he's going to get Garry on the back foot in the game right away.
Especially if you start with white pieces, right? First game of the day. Get it done now. Throw that big haymaker punch. Surprise, if you land the hit, then all of a sudden you've shaken your opponent maybe for the remainder of the day.
If you can.
He needs that.
Now we see it be, again, the sides are going for the early queen side fianchetto with b3 and b6. That's a surprise for me. I would not be doing that.
Interesting.
And I'll show you exactly why.
Coming off the freestyle circuit, that's not a surprise.
b3, c5, d5. Yeah. Okay. I like to say, boldly stating the obvious, at any Fischer Random game, I look for the problem piece. Right now, I don't see it. I think that queen on a1 will find her spot in a moment. But I also look at pawn weaknesses. Which pawns are not being defended? Well, f7 looks well defended. e7. Ooh, I know. I see a pawn right there. So d2, d4. Just imagining for a moment that you wanted to meet me with the move d5. Whoa, I've got a surprise move for you. Bishop f4. Give me the pawn. Now, in principle, you don't like playing knight a6 as the knight on the rim becomes a target, right? So, in principle, you're going to defend the pawn by moving it. I got a surprise for you. Check this out, bishop. And I just put my bishop back on g3. So, your rook looks awfully stupid on that square. Now, what we've been seeing Liam play, and you were going to get into it a little there, Maurice, was the move f4, knight f2. Speak to that.
He seems as though he's, in fact, settled on this as the way to surprise Garry. I am sure we haven't seen Garry do any of that in their analysis with they were doing together with Fabi. So maybe this is just like the way, the different way. It seems a bit offbeat, more hyper-modern style, as we see the players are seated and ready to go here on this last day. But maybe it will be the thing that gets Garry on the back foot. Maybe.
You got to send him reeling.
We've seen Garry burn a lot of clock early, so it's not a bad idea to throw.
Castling square there. So I don't want you picking up the rook first. So you must move your king first to show us that you do intend to castle kingside, okay? All right, with that being said, good luck. Please go ahead and start white's clock.
So slight warning there to the players, but actually aimed at Garry. Dude, you've been using two hands to castle. Cut your king first. B2, B3.
Yep.
Okay.
No surprises.
Well, that was precisely what they were looking at. For me, it's a bit of a surprise because, again, I don't see the queen as being an issue, as being an issue, a problem piece for the players.
But bishop to b2, like make a move for black.
Okay, d6.
Okay.
Just,
so d6, you countered the point because
oh,
bishop,
sorry.
Because bishop. Let's
C5.
play d5. Let's play
d5.
d5.
Excellent.
And now I play bishop to b2.
Okay, so you develop, I develop.
All right.
So
now the thing is,
oops, that arrow.
So already you're actually threatening.
That arrow was supposed to be attacking.
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Well, what
with
if
my
I'm now
arrows,
just
Jason.
going d3?
All right, so
yeah,
D3.
supporting into
Yeah.
an e4 eventually.
So let's say knight to
Yeah,
d2.
so we
got-
Let's say knight c6. Oops, sorry, that's a knight c6.
By the way, your bishop on g6 has got my attention because I have a knight g3 h4 sighting
I see.
also coming.
This kind of thing. That usually, funnily enough, that usually provokes a move like h6. Here, because you've got your darn battery already set up, I might find myself drawn to f6.
So problematically, you might be castling queenside as soon as I do as well.
Right. Makes sense.
Let me go for e4.
E2, E4. Okay, you told me what I should do. Castles. Now,
All right. There's just, should I be castling that way? Should I be going for h5?
so the weird part is I always thought of the opening as you got to prepare the address for your king. Where's your king sitting? At the moment, you've played h4.
Yes.
Kind of an indication that
Of where I'm
maybe you
going.
don't- Yeah, but maybe
But you know what? I'm going to be Alpha Zero-esque
Please.
and keep going.
put it down, right? H5,
Okay.
bishop, h6.
You
Why
want
not?
you want to do it, right? Like,
I don't know
You don't
because
care.
you're trying to
to show
blast.
some power on that diagonal. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Let's do
right?
it. Let's go
Okay,
for it.
Let's
Okay.
go for it. All right, and I took it. So now I'm kind of suggesting that
An exchange
maybe,
sack. Okay, I'm taking on f6.
Right.
yeah, f6 for sure, right? And develop the pieces.
So you've developed, and I'm going to cackle.
Aha. Okay. You've dinged my pawn structure. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, but it's still about effective piece development, right? I'm not sure.
I'm going to take on d5. So
Sorry.
that I don't have to worry
munch,
about
munch.
that.
You
What do we
you
got?
got a square. You got a square.
I got a square.
Yeah.
Well, do I have to use it? Why not use it?
Right.
I would love to get. Sorry, back that up. Back that.
Back it up.
No, I did trade.
Sorry.
I'm just wondering about bishop e2 to go to g4.
Uh-huh.
I just feel.
Well, one thing's for sure.
I could have hit
that diagonal that you opened up, you did good. I mean,
I'm hoping.
I mean, you messed up my
But
structure.
but that's one idea. I could have also just played knight f5 in that position.
Yep.
No, after taking. No,
Yep.
we take, play knight
And
f5.
knight f5.
And hope that there's a little light here. And by the way, we've been analyzing this whole time.
And nobody's moved.
Garry is still sitting This is just light analysis. We're looking at some options. By the way, here you have this move, Bishop A3 check.
Check.
It's kind of a funny move.
Yeah, because of the move B3 from the opening move, B3.
But I might just play Bishop B2 if you do
come
that.
back.
So
That's pretty
all right,
funny.
I could get behind a position like this if I had whites. I wouldn't mind.
Exactly. So again, what we've been looking at is putting the bishop on B2, and we saw that what Maurice was trying to do was blast open this diagonal, and he did a very good job in that last iteration. So B2, B3, what did I play? I played
You just
D5,
played D5, which I didn't think was
yeah.
necessarily top move because you played D6 and went for,
Well,
encountered what I was trying to do with E5.
Let's try just another approach. And again, Gary's thinking about all of these different
5 minutes
ideas.
spent now already. Move
5
one.
minutes. Wow, that's not so. I'm going to go for.
I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah, please.
Didn't they look at B3, him and Fabi? I saw that on the board.
They absolutely
Both
did.
sides were looking at B6 and B3.
It was one of the first moves explored by both boards
Exactly.
before going a few different ways.
Look at Gary's face. Why
Like,
is
this is a surprise or something? Like, I don't get that either. Okay, here I had a different approach, Maurice, because you put your queen and bishop on the battery, imagining, for argument's sake, knight G3, and imagine I play D6. You know what I'm trying to do right away, which was to shut down the diagonal. I don't think you want to play D4 in these positions. You know, it just doesn't feel like. I think you actually want to play for F4, but say bishop here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So bishop here, say F6, say castles.
Ooh.
Just for argument's sake, and knight F7.
I think I do want to play. Wait a second.
But I've got this guy really, really well protected.
But D4 is already threatening D5, no?
D4 does threaten D5. Munch, bishop.
Okay, you are preparing castles. But
Again,
castles also runs into bishop C4.
bishop C4. Yeah, that is true.
I mean, just that diagonal.
Yeah,
action is going to be a little problematic. And Gary's finally moved. We've been able to
Here
muse
we go.
for quite some time and give us
6 minutes spent. 6 minutes spent, by the way, for B6.
B6 alone. I hope that Vichy doesn't spend 6 minutes right now.
Oh, please no.
James,
We've
would
got
you
it.
please remind me what kind of game they're playing? Is this a rapid game?
It's
Is
not
this
classical.
not classical?
This is not 90-30. No, it's 25-10 is what we're
Wow.
playing here. So 6 minutes spent only to maintain symmetry off of move number 1.
What did you call it? Younger brother copying you?
That's
Now it's older brother copying. It was my little sister.
Little
talking
sister
about.
copying.
you can sense the agitation we're feeling off of that. You know, I gotta wonder what Vichy's thinking right now. Really? 6 minutes for
Really?
that? 6 minutes for that?
I'm good. I'm glad you spent 6 minutes on that move.
Yeah, I would be too. I would
is
say no
going
problem.
Well done. Like tip of the hat.
But Gary has done that before.
He has.
in this exact match, and it hasn't come back to haunt him,
He has-
although it should have.
Yeah, he has not been punished. I mean, that game he won on time, it wasn't because he was ever ahead, actually. He was the guy behind. You know, it's funny. In our little musings, we've been castling queenside. And in this exact Fischer Random position, after the move bishop b2, you can castle queenside. You don't have to move the knight. The knight might be perfectly well situated. And since we're going to play bishop b2, it might behoove us to launch these pawns forward. So check this out. Imagine I play g4. I'm just putting some musings on the board. I bring my knight to g3. So essentially I say to you, you're on a diagonal that's empty. You've got nothing to attack.
Right.
So goodbye. And bishop b2, and I'm saying I'm not castling kingside, I'm castling queenside. Let me just put another silly move on the board for a moment, and this is what I mean. It's so unusual to castle without having to move a knight.
Yes.
Right? So we got a position like this where you might be looking at f4 and throw the pieces, throw the pawns forward. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
please.
don't like the fact that we're able to have this long discussion without a move. And thankfully, we saw one there. F4 now on the board.
F4.
He's got to pick up the pace a little bit. But, I will say
That
there
was
is...
Liam. Liam's F4, knight
suggested
F2.
F4, and he knew that already.
Yeah.
But I will say there is something quite profound that you can do in a chess game when you are playing against an opponent who needs to play quickly, is if you slow down the pace, they follow your pace.
Right.
And just a little bit of a psychological trick that we use in games.
Yes.
If you play quickly with them, they'll speed up also.
Yeah.
But now that you have a little bit of a time advantage, you say, let me just wait, even though I know my next move.
Right.
Let me just wait. It'll slow them down as they might be racing in their minds looking for what you might do. But because you're controlling the pace of the action with just good
Your
time
physical
management,
move.
Right.
no surprise if Garry himself spends 3 minutes right now, as Vishy has spent 3 minutes. You see how Garry had spent 6 minutes? He might go into the tank.
Yeah.
He knows this trick, of course, as well. But it's hard when you're looking at a complex position for the first time.
Hey, mathematically, I win if I spend 3 minutes per 6 minutes of your move, right? Eventually, your clock does hit 0. And right now, Garry has already spent about 1 minute and 30 evaluating this position, looking for his response to F4.
I think they're going to be picking up the pace. And there you go. I wanted to say F6. If you're going to play F4 and put your bishop on B2, I want to close down the diagonal, put the knight on F7. So I'll kind of match you if you don't mind. I'll just play a move here for a moment. I think you want to play G3. I'm not 100% sure. Threatening is a strong word, but anticipating that you were going to put the bishop on G2. Bishop B2. What do we think of this position, James?
I mean, I was actually thinking about an E3 push, so I can get my bishop, my light squared bishop, on a diagonal that can pin the knight to the king.
Okay.
Maybe induce another pawn move on that side of the board.
Exactly. So, in case you wanted to do this, pinning the knight and provoking, if you will, the move E6, so that the bishop isn't attacking.
Or even E2, and then over to H5.
Okay.
I'm going to split the difference.
Sure.
What about D3?
And again, I like that move very, very much because you're saying, this is the weak pawn. This is a weak pawn. I'm going to take it. And if you want to pin the knight to the king, well, guess what? You got it. I mean, this is...
Yeah, of course, there's the H2 pawn hanging now, and we'd have to start some calculation as to whether
who got the best.
Gained
who got
out of that. That
gained
knight being
tree.
pinned on F7 is a good value, but I'm not sure it's worth the clear pawn disadvantage there. This game could become quite wild, by the way, because this knight C3,
Exactly.
knight B5 things could start happening as
popping
well.
up.
So the game has really gone off the rails as far as traditional pawn structures. Yes, any opening you know of in standard chess with this pawn structure?
Bird's opening, F2, F4, and B2, B3. A lot of people do play B2, B3, bishop B2, and only F4 thereafter.
You're saying with the white pieces. I'm
Yes.
talking about black setup,
No.
mirroring white.
No.
Bird's opening for sure, F4,
Right.
B3 as you mentioned. But black,
No.
F6 and B6,
no.
This is not,
This is
I don't know what
creative.
search I'd have to make on ChessBase or some database to find this structure with black doing this and white having this setup as well. This alone by itself is rare.
Oh, for sure.
Would you say this is our trickiest of the 3 positions we've seen across the 3 days?
They're making it tricky. I like the opening position. They're making it tricky. It didn't start tricky. It looks pretty normal. 2 bishops, rooks. I mean, okay. The queen on A1 is a little bit weird.
Right, king's on his normal starting square. though.
Exactly. Yeah. But F7, F6, and Vishy, maybe this is his longest thing, and it's move 3. Well, again, apologies to Vishy's fans. You played F2, F4, Vishy for a reason, which was to bring your knight to F2. Get on with it. Bring your knight to. Thank you.
And there it is.
As Professor Elad Miskashki often said, same move, faster, was better.
Ah, I like that.
Knight, I mean, he played A, so he could play B, and then he thought 6 minutes over B.
It wasn't quite 6 minutes,
It was close. He was 25.
Yeah, he spent 3 minutes originally in the second move,
But
F4.
Knight F2, that move should have been...
Again, it
Look at
is
his
surprising.
split.
They did look at it. I'm sure Liam is sitting there going, we looked at this.
Speed it up, man. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to make the move for him.
Now, for Garry, I got to say, same comment, right? Like, dude, you played F6. Where else is your knight going to go? You're going to go knight F7. Aren't you? I mean, or is Garry looking to play E5? No, come on. What are we talking about here?
Well, I have to say, the fluidity of the pawn structure, as he is now
He's played bishop B7?
he's played bishop B7, preventing
refresh.
preventing the bishop on F1 from being able to move too easily without the pawn on G2 feeling some heat, at least. If we have to make a number of moves in a row now for black, I'd be curious to know what those are. Right? Like exactly what is the long-term setup that black is seeking? So you got a knight on F7. Let's get that.
A pawn on E6.
So you're going to E6 with the pawn.
The bishop goes to E7. And then I decide where I'm castling. I'm still unclear in my mind. Should I be castling short? Should I be castling queenside?
Now, same question for white. What should be white's next 4 moves?
For me, I'm thinking, look, dude, you're the one who played B3. I'm thinking you're playing in the same style that you had a moment ago. Bishop B2, G4.
Wow.
G5. And once you get in G5, notice that the rooks, okay, let me just put that on the board so I can at least show the potential of what I'm saying. So I'm trying to blast open this diagonal. Soon I'll put my bishop on the diagonal, right? But imagining that you had a brain infarction, oops, the rooks
Are pinned.
are pinned.
That rook is pinned.
So I'm thinking G4, bishop B2, G5, H4, bam, 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 bam. Soften up the diagonal?
Nope. He's played more quietly with the move knight to C3. And the
Not on
engine
our
is
radar at
not
all.
At all.
fan. This
Knight
is what we've
C3.
seen. We've
Okay.
seen him play much more reserved chess, and it's just not quite Vishy that we want to see.
It's funny, in the opening, I always say your goal is to control the center, bring your pieces to effective squares, safety for your king. That's it. That's your 3 goals. But the knight on C3, number 1, is not effectively placed. It's actually kind of in the way. I mean, C4 would have been a better square. So I'm thinking the priority was the bishop on C1, get that diagonal. The priority was G4, G5, open up the king side a bit, and let the knight on B1 stay there. So knight C3, what does it...
Where's it trying to go?
Yeah, what's the idea? Support E4? What do you think, Maurice? Support E4? But then I like a comment that you had made, James, which was bring this bishop, but you were making it for white, by the way. Bring this bishop out, bring it either to D6 or to C5, because you were making that comment that the diagonal was potentially weak. So I'm not feeling this for Vishy. I want to go knight to D4. I want to go bishop C5.
Really odd to block the diagonal.
Yeah.
Really odd to block that diagonal. However, the engine's giving this position
Balanced.
more or less equal. It's not a hyper-aggressive position. It is a position that has come, or I should say a move that has come as a tad bit of a surprise to Garry, as it has to us. Again, maybe a good thing if the position is still balanced. If you can keep playing moves that Garry will seek optimal responses for, and we know that is Kasparov. If you make a move that he feels smells funny, he starts looking for something near refutation level, or to make your position seem really bad. So he might be searching for that right now, and we can only hope that, for Vishy's sake, Garry takes more time.
That's what I was about to say. Dipping below 15 minutes for the first time here in game number 1. Garry Kasparov on the black side of the board. Now, of course, you at home have the great fortunes of listening to these 2 brilliant gentlemen when it comes to analyzing the position. If you're in the studio itself, though, in the St. Louis Chess Club, look at that. Fabiano Caruana holding court, if you will, with a bunch of our VIPs, a little bit of live analysis and commentary from him, and the opportunity to Q&A a bit around the positions themselves. But gotta wonder, since he was directly a part of that analysis, now how he's feeling about how the two players have navigated in the initial opening moves.
He's off the hook, because there's no way that they looked at this precise position. I see in the audience International Master John Donaldson, many time captain of the U.S. Olympic team, enjoying Bobby's lecture there. Knight c3, the more I'm looking at the move Knight c3, the less I like it. I really do. It's not that I despise it or anything like that. That's going too far. But I just don't understand, where is the knight going? The knight is not going to b5. That threat on the c7 pawn can easily be protected either by castling. Like
Castling looks really funky in that situation.
Like that just deals with the one moment threat. And by the way, get out of here, skedaddle. I'm going to play a7, a6 next. So, and if you don't play e4, I just don't know what the knight is doing here. It's not going to. I don't get it. I'm sorry that I just.
It's hard to you can't justify it.
I can't justify it. No, not at all. And in my mind, Vishy could easily slip into a difficult position. You've given up the d4 square. I haven't given up the d5 square. I'm going to go knight c6.
And there it is.
There's your
on
move.
the board.
Yeah.
Again, you say same move faster.
He's down. Hold on, come on.
12:42 on the clock.
He's used half his time for the first 4 moves. I'd be jumping up and down and saying, Garry, you can't do that. Listen to me. Don't do that.
So you got one guy who's played a knight c3 move you don't like, and you got the other guy mishandling his time
terribly.
Like. Which is worse?
So far in this tournament.
Timey Val.
But it's kind of been the other way in this tournament. Gary's gotten away with the lack of time control, right?
Exactly.
At some point, Vishy equalizes with Garry, more or less. So now, Vishy, having put his knight on c3, he must have had a point, but as he's been sitting there, not moving at all, you have to wonder, should I have put my knight on c3? Right. And did he see the move e6? Was he ready for this move? That's going to be the question. Can I find a quick move-ish? Maybe a minute, think. No more than a minute in this moment. Please, you spend too much time, you're going to lose that time advantage. And again, he doesn't have to have an advantage coming in at the opening. He just has to have a good position.
A good position.
Decent position to play. That's all you really need. Although that pawn on g2, really feeling a little bit of pressure along the.
Well, that's because Garry hasn't played the move knight to c6. If I'm in Vishy's shoes, look, Vishy, you know you're going to need bishop b2. Forget about everything else. That's an essential. So put that move on the board. I think it's now almost a certainty that you need the pawn on a g4, not just because of the pressure against the pawn on g2, but so you can soften up the diagonal. A very useful move, by the way, e2, e3. I don't see that as an absolute essential. Now when I play g4, I at least have to be cognizant of bishop f3 as maybe as one of those disrupting moves. If I'm in Garry's shoes, I'm playing knight f7. A la tempo, let's go. And again, I just don't know what the knight on c3 is doing. I mean, what role are you doing? What role are you playing?
All right, well, it's history now.
Let's go.
It's history. We've got to move on from it.
Right.
Garry, however, is spending some time. You're giving knight f7 as a natural move here.
Very natural.
Is Garry at the board even? I'm not getting a wide shot.
He's been strolling around.
Not so far this game. This game, I've noticed he's been.
Not.
He wasn't at the board. He just came back, rushed back. So he lost a minute just on that alone, that excursion, and had to come back to the board quickly, maybe to wash his face or something. But he is definitely down a full 5 minutes on that.
So knight f7. Let's go. As black, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to seize the center with c5 and d5 and d4. So I want to shut down the queen on a1. go ahead and tell me what
All
you
right,
think.
let's just play bishop b2 because you should.
Bishop b2 because you should. Let's play c5 because we should.
Let's cackle.
Tackle. I'm with you. Let's go knight c6.
All right, now let's g4, and it's time to go.
It's g4, time to go. There's no way I'm castling into that, so I'm just going to... I'm not castling short. No, I'll go with my center control
I own
idea.
a lot of space here as black.
I own a lot of space. That's
I give
exactly
you
it.
space. There's nothing I can do about that now, so I'm just going to g5 it. And
G5, I shut you down.
But g5,
I can take it too.
you can also take if you're interested. Okay, but
That's a nasty
I
tempo.
will have a bishop h3 hit in a
Siding.
second.
Yep.
Do I want to do it first and just start sacrificing? You know me. I have
Yeah.
to see what it looks like.
Okay. Shall we take it?
No. That's the point.
sorry.
I want to play
If you
bishop
go
h3.
Bishop
Bishop
h3.
h3, now do I have to bring my bishop
Because
back?
if you take,
Yep.
then the center opens up,
Yep.
and bishop e6 is always going to be a move.
Oh, that's a
I'm
strong
not even
move.
sure I need it now, but it looks like a
Very strong
attractive move. in fact.
Oh, definitely. No, I don't think I want to allow that trade. I would not want to allow that trade. You know what? I'm gonna take care of my king. I'm gonna park my king just like you did. I'll cackle.
All right, so now if I play g5,
In
why
this
not?
position?
Why not? I want to put my bishop on h3 is my goal. Takes.
Okay, so remember when I was criticizing shutting down that diagonal for white? Well, guess what? I'm the one ready to pounce. Knight f3.
I don't have any sexy knight jumps.
Hey,
Nowhere I
man,
can find
That's
them.
not a chess term. That's not in my informant.
Well, with Garry being the first to dip below 10 minutes, he
Yes.
did bring his knight out over here to
Let's
F7,
refresh the current position.
just to take a look.
Knight f7. Okay. We might be seeing this whole concept, at least, of c5, knight c6, castles, queenside. My d5 was premature because you pointed out bishop h3, Maurice. So I'll chill. I'll chill on that.
See, the thing is, you get to take back moves.
Yeah, that's the
doesn't.
strengths of being a commentator. I mean, oh, that didn't work. Bye. Next.
Right. So now Vishy has a nice lead on the clock. Now he just needs to play a couple of natural moves, but he is continuing to play the slow foot, keep it calm strategy.
Thoughtful.
I want you to be down to about 4 minutes on the clock before I speed up.
Right.
And if he could just maintain this lead and have a good position,
Yep.
then he can start thinking positive.
Lull him. Yeah. Keep him moving at a nice slow pace. Has any player tipped their cap in terms of which direction they're castling yet? Or
I
both
think-
ways still feel an option on both sides?
I think how it's evolved so far, castling queenside is the go-to for both players because the diagonals, the long diagonals, when you see the queen and bishop lined up like this, you don't want to put
go
the
that way.
king
So-
underneath that
I would be
pressure.
stunned.
So
Right?
Stunned if I saw castles kingside.
So we've been talking, though, then,
Yes.
about G-pawn, H-pawn.
Let's
moving
go.
down, but why don't we go the other way? If I know
Yes.
that you're most likely taking your king to the left-hand side of the board, to the queen
Queenside.
side, let's throw the A-pawn forward.
Yeah, potentially opening up for A5 and the queen. It's sensible, but you're losing control of the center when you're doing that. And it's not exactly clear if you get the pawn to A5, is this useful or not? So, for example, let's say I just ignore you and I invite you to advance your pawn. By the way, that's not checkmate, but it
it's
hurts.
close.
It's very dangerous.
It's
But it
close.
hurt. A moment ago, you could castle and protect
Right.
the pawn on c2. Here, you're going to have to move your queen, and maybe that's not what you wanted when
Well,
you
what if
played
I-
A5.
What if I
Okay, we're going to
wait
go back.
For A5?
Yep,
Can we bring our bishop out
yep,
to open up castling rights?
exactly. And then at the end of the day, you probably should castle, let's say.
That knight on b4
Okay.
looks pretty compelling, though. It's
Yeah,
hard
it's
to
a strong
chase this
piece.
guy
Yeah,
out of
and
position.
maybe something like this, where essentially the move A2, A4, what you thought was useful, Weakened for the moment.
Okay.
Weakened for the moment. But,
Vishy did move.
We have a move on the board.
the funny part about that whole A4, if you had started it with A4, I would have been, okay, I understand this. You want to go A5, Queen A4. But he started it with B3.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. I do like the move A4, but at the right time. The timing is just not quite right just yet.
Okay.
By putting the bishop on B2 and being able to castle, it's a nice thing. But you do know if you castle that way, A4 suddenly becomes a target, and you can play A5, A6.
Yeah.
You have the tempo. Black will probably be compelled to play the move A5 if white plays A4 later, but not just yet.
Something prophylactic like bringing our knight over to D3 then to guard that B4 square before starting
Playing A4 makes sense.
In time. Right now, white is very flexible. White has multiple possibilities. The G4 push is seemingly the most compelling because of the pawn break on G5. So if you were able to get this pawn up down the board, like, where's the break? That's what
G5.
Where's the break? G5 looks like a break. You might be able to play H4 first and then go for this. And so knight C6 on the board now by Garry. So white is able to castle, no worries there. A4 becomes a little less compelling now as well.
Attractive,
so knight C6 was another move that may have stopped the A4 idea. So it's all about flexibility and developing your pieces in the opening instead of committing to any specific idea. And here we see that Garry's doing that at the moment. I do believe that sooner or later G4 is going to be the money move with A4, H4 on top. And this knight B5 unleashing the bishop along the long diagonal with G5 pushes.
Yeah, what's Vishy is, Garry's up and out off the table. Vishy turning appealing to the arbiter for
Could I
something.
have a glass of water?
Maybe a glass of water. Maybe changing the temperature.
Yeah, just a little chill. A lonely man, by the way, is there. Knight C6, not a big fan. I would have prefaced it with C5, but okay, we are here, and we have a move.
Castles.
Castle on the board.
Maybe he asked Chris, look, I'm going to castle. When you made your opening comments about moving your king first, I want you to watch this. Could you give me your stamp of approval, Chris? Did I do it right?
It's Garry's turn. He doesn't have to move his rook to castle in this situation.
Yeah, he did.
He almost went for the two-hander.
Did he move with his left hand and hit the clock with the right?
He did.
That's not allowed either. What's going on? Is that what I saw happen?
Yeah, I think he did.
It seems that he moved with his left hand and hit the right. You're supposed to.
Here it is.
So
he almost went for it.
He points.
So he held it with both. I think he did it with. It was a two-handed king move there.
Double touch.
That's
he
pretty
reached
funny.
for the king.
Double dribble.
No, he
touched
looks
the king. He
traveling.
Touches the rook. I mean, that's the most complex chess move.
It was almost like a magician's move, you know, distraction.
And finally, we have G4. Finally, we have G4. Again, I think with the pawn on C5, that whole idea of grabbing the center makes more sense. Also, with the pawn on C7, my queen feels ever, as does white's, ever more tightly bound in the position. Again, imagining that the pawn was on C5, there would be an out, right? Queen B8 and potentially even menacing the H2 pawn. Now the question is breaks.
The break, G5. By the way, since Garry played knight C6, you were actually decrying this placement of the knight on the C3 square,
Guilty.
C6 square. So at the moment, we have a situation where that's been nullified.
Yes.
I played a bad knight move, you played a bad knight move. Maybe you can judge virtues or not. Now it's about the remaining structure. And we look at Black's pawn structure, particularly the centrally placed pawns, these three right here, versus what White chose, which is this and this. And this G4 move really looks nice.
More space.
It will be followed up by H4. It will be followed up by G5.
Yep.
It's not so easy for you to play G5 because that weakens this button right here. And there's some disco attacks, knight to E4, hitting the F6 square. This is starting, maybe it wasn't great to start with, but this is starting to look like a teeny tiny bit of pull for white.
I believe you. I really, I believe you that white actually has gotten ever so slightly the initiative thanks to the pawn being on g4, ready to soften up the diagonal, just as you've been describing. Also, don't forget that the bishop, if it comes out to d3, it will do so with the tempo. Conversely, this bishop coming to d6 is blocked by the pawn on f4. So white's f4 and g4 gives him that extra space and a greater initiative.
Yeah, so things looking good on the board here for Vishy so far, looking even better on the clock. As
Let's
Garry
take
now
a look at that clock.
rapidly approaching
2 to
6
1.
minutes. Exactly, a 2-to-1 advantage here in terms of
Ooh.
minutes.
If Vishy doesn't win this game, oh my goodness. I mean, look at this. He's got a nice position. It only
Nice.
8 moves in,
Right.
but still a nice position. Garry has
Right.
wasted 19 minutes to play 8 moves. Vishy's got a slight pull, got a G5 plan, clear plan in mind,
Yep.
H4, G5,
Yep.
and Garry has dipped below 6 minutes, and he's played
Bravo, good move. H6.
H6. He
H6.
knows
I
what's
like
coming.
that. I like that because it basically says, I know what you're doing. You're playing H4 and G5. The pawn on H7 was a potential weakness. Once you play G5, I'm going to get rid of my weakness. Now, again, for me, I'm beginning to feel like the queen is misplaced. I didn't like the move bishop f8, by the way, bishop f8 to e7. I would have played knight here. What's the idea? Just the idea is, whoop,
Opening it up.
opening up that diagonal. And if you chase me, there's no reason for you to chase me, by the way. I'm more than willing to make this trade because I'm thinking that I really want to play bishop to d3, and I really want to open up that.
F3, you mean?
Yeah, bishop. Yeah, and really open up that diagonal.
You're getting
None of this
excited,
happened.
yes.
Yeah, I know. None of this
what
happened
you just
because
did
bishop
is-
e7.
What you just did, I was going to sack a pawn, but okay, we'll leave that variation
Sack a pawn.
alone.
I want a pawn. You see, James, I want a pawn.
You
I
guys-
provoked.
You guys are perfect,
Yeah, perfect
partners
match.
for each other. Yeah.
But look, I will say this though:
What's that?
H6, as much as it stops the G5 break,
And it does.
does weaken some squares over on that side. I can't see how to
Specifically the G6.
exploit that G6 square just yet because I
Right.
can't get a knight to land on that square. But H5 does permanently affect that structure and may be worth going for. We've seen Vishy play like this, the more space grabbing as opposed to
Right.
dynamic opening of the position. So maybe this is a move he'll be considering. But Garry's not to 607, he's at 1041. Does he want to keep that slow play? You notice when he played H4 very quickly, Garry responded with bishop
Very
E7
quickly.
instantly. Again, it's that Jedi mind trick. If you play fast, I'll play fast. So maybe Vish was like, you know what?
I'll slow it down.
Right, we're not in crunch time yet.
Yeah, let me slow it down again.
Back down. Slow
Because I
it
want
back
you to
down.
think about my next move, whatever that is. What's a surprise move here for him to play? That's
eight.
one.
That's a bit of a surprise move.
That's definitely one.
Well,
By the way,
yesterday I was asking you about what Vishy looks like at his best, and you said at times it's playing both sides of the board, right? Where he can create an attack on one side and then quickly switch up and start throwing pieces on the other side of the board. So as quickly as G4 and H4 come out, now we're launching the A pawn too.
it's funny. The move I wanted was knight b4. Guess what he just did? King b8. Again, I think the players are missing opportunities. I'm not 100% sure about this, but how do you like the move f5? Very surprise move. So the idea is, I want to win a pawn. Bishop takes h4 is on my agenda. You're going to play g5. Now, the question you're going to ask yourself is, who benefited? You got the pawn on g5, for example. I go here. This knight on f2, kind of stuck, right? I have ideas of e5. I have ideas of d5. Maybe rook h8.
I'm sorry.
He
Might
didn't
not
play
go
it.
to D3.
Intuitively, I wanted to take that pawn on F5.
Oh, you did? Okay, let's
Just
go.
hit it.
Let's go. Let's have a look-see.
Wait, I didn't take the pawn yet. I
Oh,
get the pawn.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay, now you're hitting my knight. I could take and hit your knight.
Yeah, like something like this,
Let's
right?
do that. And now
Let's see. If I take, you take.
I also have
the
rook
rook.
G2. I also have rook G2 against.
Oh, sorry. Maurice, apologies. They're
starting to pick up the pace because the clock is starting to
They
become
heard you
relevant.
theory crafting and they decided
A3. A3, okay, a reasonable move. King B8, always nice to tuck the king in. Remember when we said the bishop comes out and potentially hits the G6? Look at Garry go, D5. And I've been waiting for this move, d5. I would like to have seen it with c5 as well, but d5, go ahead.
I'm not a fan of bishop d3. I
You
feel like the
didn't like
bishop
it.
belonged on another diagonal.
Like potentially even h3, yeah?
But yes, and it seems to me that the bishop hadn't decided where it belongs yet.
Right.
That the position needed to clarify itself
So
for us to
maybe
know where
king b1
that bishop
would have
should
been.
go. Not king b1. No, I
No?
would have been seeking out some pawn moves. Like which one should I be playing? H5, G5.
I think you actually wanted h5.
H5 was a nice clamp move.
Let's
But
see
bishop
what we got.
D3, D5 now. So
What do we have?
Garry
currently?
played the move king b8 to get off potential e6 shots, by the way, and just in case
Well, bishop
of
h3.
things happening. But now the position is pregnant with possibilities
Finally.
for breaks.
Yeah,
F5
d4
is a move, E4 is a move. Right, let's just show that. There's this one break here, another break here, and another break there. All of these are worth thinking about. Of course, black has breaks as well. The move D4 being a compelling one. E4 is an expansion move. And then there's G5, which looks maybe even possible as well, but maybe favor white a little bit. But now that this has happened, the game has gone into deep complexity, and flow is needed.
And the
But-
clock advantage is shrinking.
Exactly. The complexity and his reach. And now Vichy has
But by the
decided
way-
to use a tempo to hit the knight.
Yeah, bishop g6, I like this move a lot. The idea was, and Garry, I think, picked up on it right away. If you do move the knight, you were talking about breaks, there is a knight takes d5 sighting after the move f5. So Garry played the move rook h8, rook g8 to f8, and I'm expecting what you said, Maurice, clamp it down. Play
It's
the
already been made,
h5.
though. He's
He's
going to
already
drop
made a
his
move.
knight back to
Knight
e2
d2.
instead.
Okay. Thank goodness. I mean, I really didn't like that knight clogging up the diagonals. Knight e2, reasonable move. I would have reached for that h pawn. Actually, I like the bishop's loose, so just keep your pieces protected. I like h5. I like
I
knight e2.
think Vichy is keeping in mind the possibility of the move G5, blasting open the diagonal. Like Gary's going to have to study this possibility because bishop G7 is going to be problematic. So G5 is on tap, and it's just something that needs to be calculated. And if you have to calculate, what happens? Your time starts to fall. And now he's what? Under 5 minutes for the first time. And Garry now sitting up in his chair. What is black's main plan now that Vichy has all this multiplicity of possibilities? By the way, there's also a sneaky one I just noticed as well. Talk about your pawn grubber, Yasser Seirawan.
Yes.
There is a knight G3, knight H5 siding.
I like that.
Right?
I like
just
it.
a little bit. Like maybe
Like
you have
that's
to
a
think about
tease.
this too.
That's a tease. Knight g3, knight h5.
And if I just
That's a
put
tease.
the knight there, because my
Yeah.
knight's not necessarily doing anything right
Go
now.
away.
I put the knight there. You'll have to always think about the fact that my knight can take this pawn, or maybe go to h5. You know, maybe I won't go, maybe I will. You don't know. I think this is exactly the position Vichy wants in this moment, and Gary's feeling the pressure.
The clock.
Feeling the pressure of the clock. And earlier, I saw your mouse slide over to that queen for just a moment at the top
Yeah.
left corner. I mean, that feels like a very unhappy queen.
It is. I'm all for now, especially with the knight no longer protecting a4 square. I'm all for a5 and queen a6. But the thing that I don't like is I don't like this bishop literally in my position, in my business. I didn't like bishop e7 when he played it. I like bishop d6 now, just to kick that guy out. Would you please?
There we go.
Garry,
A move made.
It took him 2 minutes to play this obvious move.
Something that's become a bit of a pattern here across our 3 days of play is
Well, what's
going
up-
into those final stretches with Garry well below in terms of the clock.
Well, what's up with G5? Like, what are you doing about G5? The diagonal.
Let's have a look-see.
All right. You take
Takes. Pause for a moment. I don't like this diagonal blasting open. So e5. Let's shut you down
Whoa.
for just a moment, if I can. I mean, a few moves in, I haven't really been a fan of what Garry has done. I think Vichy.
What if I take on f6 here and then play knight g4? What is that about? Is that not effective at all?
Don't know. Will it be effective?
I mean, let's just pause. You may have moves.
Of
right?
course.
I don't doubt you have moves.
Of course.
But initiative?
All white.
All white.
All white.
Lines opening, things for black to consider. Better get on your defensive shoes because white has an open G line, beautiful pieces on the G file, and F4 with F takes E5 on the board. G5 played.
Yeah.
G5 played. This is
Quick recapture.
I don't like
golden
Garry,
opportunity. And Garry has played your move. We may see the line we were discussing.
I didn't have a choice, though, Maurice. The move G5, what you just played, it was designed to soften up the diagonal. I'm now playing defensive chess. I'm trying to shut it down. But just consider what black has done. Garry went bishop E7. Then he moved his bishop again. He's moved his rook defensively. Vishy, on the other hand, is, as you said, ready to pounce effectively with knight G4. And this queen is not as effective as this queen.
Exactly. The usefulness of the piece,
Yes.
the queen on A1 is developed right now. It may not seem that way, but it is performing a function, and that is all you want for your pieces. And that diagonal we're looking at right now, the beautiful diagonal all the way down here, that queen is supporting that bishop, supporting these two pawns. This knight about to harmonize just as well as everybody's hitting the center dramatically. Vishy just has to choose whether or not he plays knight G4 first or takes what I tried, takes and that, and he's trying to decide between the two. We've seen him make a mistake with whichever one, but it seems to me, takes and knight G, and here it comes. He's captured, forced move. What does Garry have now for the move knight G4? And there
it is.
The move is on the board. So.
I have no choice. I have no choice. Whether I like it or not isn't the issue. White is attacking the pawn on F6. I don't want to lose the pawn on F6. Worse, I hate that bishop staring in my business. So, ready? Go.
But isn't that where your knight started the game?
Look,
you have to make this move.
I could have saved myself a lot of
Couple of
tempi.
moves.
Exactly.
You were talking about him making moves, bishop E7, bishop D6. Now his knight having to do just
If I
that.
recall, that was at least a 3-minute move. bringing that knight off that initial square.
Good point.
Thank you, James.
Give me that time back.
Yeah. So,
Good point.
But does he have a choice? And he's thinking about it. What?
It's embarrassing to make that move. Garry doesn't want to play knight H8.
I didn't want to play knight H8, but forced moves are forced moves.
So by all accounts, Vishy has winning chances and has put himself in brilliant position in this game.
Agreed.
But he's been in that situation already before across our previous 2 days and has kind of fumbled the ball, let's say, near the end zone. And now it's a question of can he actually bring this one over the line, score those 3 points, and bring this well within touching distance.
Today is a new day. Today is a new day. Vishy so far has played very, very well. We're impressed. And now Garry is the one feeling the heat and on the clock as well as the position. By the way, 6 minutes to
2:30.
It's
only
almost
2:30
a 3-to-1
his name.
advantage.
I mean,
And it feels
if
like
you don't win this,
You're not
If you
going to
don't
get
win
better.
this-
You're not going to get much better opportunities than what you have right now.
sorry, he already had better opportunities.
what other considerations could there be where you can defend the pawn
And
aside from this knight move?
the
You got to bring the bishop back again?
Well, the other move that I really did not want to play, it's kind of a counter move. Again, it's blocking this diagonal, even if it's just for a moment. Like, let me play poorly, if you don't mind, for just a second, and say, okay, rather than defending, I'm going to go, laughing as I say it, on the attack. There's knight d7 check. What am I even saying?
No, but then you can take it and play bishop e3. Let's show that line.
Oh.
I was busy calculating it as you spoke. I wasn't sure if this was any good.
At first I saw it and I stopped, but you're absolutely
check,
right.
King b1 makes the
No,
most
but this
sense.
isn't what you.
That's a nasty
This
pawn.
isn't what you wanted when you go here. So
Down
I'm saying
below
There's
a minute 30.
There's a knight on f7 hanging. There's a bishop on g1. It's the weirdest position
Down
because
below
the
a minute
queens.
30.
So
Good point. Oh, boy.
There's only two ideas that I've seen: d4, a counter-attacking move, and knight h8, a defensive move. And Garry has no time.
Actually, now just glance at the engine. d4 is the only move to play, and Garry did find the move. This is the only move
The only
that makes
move.
any sense at all.
Okay, so tell me what I'm missing. Knight f6. Did I do it right when I took on e3, Maurice? Crickets.
Yeah. Don't look at me. I'm not the grandmaster.
Knight's got to move, gain a little tempo. Oh, that way chasing your knight out.
Or trying to chase the knight out.
Yeah, and then you get the bishop. I don't really want you to have my bishop, but something's happening here that I don't like. I grab the pawn, and the position, suddenly black has open lines. That's
you didn't like what happened.
Something to be a little bit careful.
D4 on the board. Vishy's got a huge time advantage, but can he convert? He's let so many advantages slip in the first 2 days of play.
Well, this is where you use that time then, right?
Yeah,
this is
the
right moment.
This is the moment
to give it a think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm a pawn grabber, so can I play it the most simple? I want to play simple chess.
Go for it.
Give me your knight.
Got to take.
Okay, got to recapture. Yeah.
Give me your bishop.
Looks like you have to take with a pawn.
Give me a pawn.
And now you got your pawn.
Oh.
But
the rook has an X-ray attack. I was playing simple chess, and I forgot that the
bishop
rook...
A3 comes
bishop
in. Yeah.
So you don't lose material at the end of this.
Luckily, but excuse me, your back rank. It looks
like it looks.
Yeah. I still much prefer the white queen to the black queen in this situation.
Maybe
this is not possible.
Out of the blue, I have a huge initiative.
Because bishop c8 will be forced in a second.
No, this is actually
that looks lost.
Easily much in the favor of Vishy. So again, I'm doing it in the... I always look at the most forcing moves first. They are checks and captures. There's no checks in the position, but there are captures. So I took a knight, I took a pawn, I took another pawn. Yes, I'm ready to take another pawn. Yes.
He has taken on e5 instead, move 1. He could still transpose. He could still transpose, right?
He could take on...
takes, and then take on f7 on the very next move.
I'm a little bit surprised that Vishy did it this way, because he's giving his opponent Garry. He's giving Garry the option of capturing the knight. So a moment ago, you were taking that knight off the board, and that was it. Now can we go down this primrose path? Yes.
And Garry has done it.
Golly, I think Vishy just led again. I think he let something very clear just slip. Maybe this is still in his favor, but this is not as
He's
clear.
Going straight down this line with the rook. As you mentioned, the rook is not on f7. That dynamic tempi that you gained when you took. The bishop on g6 now looks like it's just biting on air.
Exactly. It's doing nothing.
What is it doing? It could have destroyed this knight. It would have fulfilled its purpose.
And weakened the back rank.
And weakened the back row. But maybe there was something that didn't allow that to be necessarily a good idea. But Garry
two
now...
options to recapture. He goes with the pawn.
Oh, he is thinking that the rook on f8 is... you can't take on a3 because the rook on f8 is hanging. This is what Vishy... That was why Vishy did not play the move bishop takes f7.
This was his calculation. Vishy saw all of this and said, I'm winning a pawn. But may I ask this question? Is this pawn enough to win the game? I mean, we are talking about a 4 against 3.
On the same side.
There's Garry. Garry
By
said,
the way, did you see that little twist?
I'll just trade off even more pieces. And who says that you have any advantage whatsoever in a position that looks pretty liquidated?
Well, I mean, I'm a pawn grubber. I've lived all my life with the pawn. So, yeah, I would say it's a kind of a 2-result game. Maybe there was more a moment ago than there is now. But you're right. It's only a pawn, as opposed to the position he had was maybe pawn and initiative. Here, he no longer has initiative.
Initiative is gone.
Is gone.
Exactly. It is just sucked up in the position, and now Garry just has to defend. Can Vishy keep any fires burning in this position? I hate positions where the pieces are all symmetrical.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what we have, especially when knights have left the board. The trick factor is gone.
Yeah.
Right?
No
the
more
hustle
trickies.
is not there. It's all these linear pieces. We talk about chess geometry. It's all these linear pieces. And how do you break through? I think this position is just pretty even.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, the Black Queen is breathing.
By the way, breathing very, very nicely in case you did want to trade and, let's just say, protect
That's a
the
Magnus
pawn on
Carlsen
D2.
queen right there. Middle of the board.
Yeah, right? The rook drops in, rook F2, the bishop drops in, and by
Sorry,
the way...
I like black now.
Yeah, the initiative is just completely
But do you
fizzled.
like Black with 52 seconds on the clock?
I think black is fine.
He's
I
still
think moves
fine
are
with
easy.
it.
10
Okay.
seconds per move being gained. I think Vishy took his foot off the gas because he saw a clear pawn and just went for it. Let me just grab that pawn. 2-result game. I'm starting to feel like Garry's the one. I mean, okay, I can't claim he's trying to win this position.
No, I think
but,
he's
but I think he's comfortable.
I think he's comfortable. I still, again, I'm a pawn grabber. I got to go with the pawn. King B2, D3. Let's trade some rooks. Let's trade some bishops. I mean,
What? Queen and pawn ending you want?
no, I don't.
You don't want the queen and pawn ending? Trade what?
It's being.
If you're
it's
Vishy, you want
being
to go
dealt.
back. You want to go back 7 moves.
It's being dealt to me. Queen C1. Yeah, Garry.
More trades incoming.
I mean, for Garry, a draw is a perfect result here in game number 1.
Oh, well, of
Right.
course. And from the position he had, because we think he was on the back foot literally from the start. But Garry is going for a major piece ending. Bishop takes, queen takes C3, queen to D4, but it's the clock and the fact that he's going to be a pawn down.
He can't force all the pieces off the board, however, not
No.
so easily. Maybe there's a way, but 19.4 seconds and
Garry.
quickly.
Garry.
He's got to check the clock just like
Garry.
Vishy
Bishop
failed to do
takes
yesterday.
What is happening?
He was entertaining the idea of the bishop trades. There we go. He will go for it.
I
Now the
thought
queen
he's
comes
supposed
out,
to
and
play-
now he's offering a queen trade.
Yeah, I thought he was
well.
going to do this like perfunctory. Like the moment he played for queen D5 and bishop E5, I thought he was going for these major trades. Now the question is, should I go into a straight rook and pawn endgame?
No.
With 4...
Not if you could have. Oh, well, he's
No.
there.
He's going to.
He's
not
there.
you were about to say, not if you can avoid it.
That was, to me, it was the moment to think about, is there a move I can play to avoid the queen trade?
Queen C6 might have been
Queen
that move.
C6 maybe, just something. But maybe it didn't lead anywhere, and I wouldn't doubt that it was equal. But this ending, I'm not a big fan of because the rook should be able to defend quite comfortably. But you can torture in a 4 against 3.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Oh, yes.
especially the extra rook, you could torture the player. Of course, you're talking about Garry Kasparov, but maybe the time edge. Let's see if Vishy can maybe pull a rabbit out of a hat.
So
By the way,
what's my
A5.
pathway forward then? If I'm playing white, I've got the extra pawn, but otherwise we're equivalent 2 rooks apiece. Where does that winning move? What's the winning situation, I should say? If we could transport pieces on the board where white now comes out on top, what does that look like?
It's a long-term strategy. It's not something that you just instantly put on the board. It's creepy crawly. You play moves like C3, D3, Rook D2, King C2, D4. Slowly you prep it. C4. Again, very
Patience
slow,
justified.
patient moves. But I wanted to say that this is an absolutely critical move. A7, A5. You don't want to see white getting a little bit of a clamp with B4, King B3. And any pawn moves helps the defender enormously.
Garry's headed with his rook on D4 to the C5 square. That rook wants to guard any ideas you might have about hitting C7, while also getting, and that's why this move was played. He might, however, play rook D6 and put it on C6.
Similar idea.
Same point. Let me control that pawn on C2 and see how you make progress if I have the rook hitting your C2 pawn.
That would be forcing me to keep a passive rook, which is not something
By the
I
way,
would want.
he has another idea. Oh, okay, he's chosen this path. He has another idea is to put the rook on H2, that same rook.
Yeah.
And ask you, how do you make progress, my friend?
That rook I wouldn't be that worried about because I would transfer the
Your rook to C4. That's a
and
good
that
point.
would be I would have an active rook.
This position is technically a draw.
Correct. Correct.
Technically, best play.
With best play, you would
If
expect.
only white could get that rook. Ooh,
Well, that helps the
B4.
pawn trade.
All right.
AB, AB. That's very, very good for black. I would imagine Garry would want to see rook C6, rook C1. put that move on the board.
At some point, I imagine our king has to come up to b3 so we can get our c-pawn moving? Or?
Yes, yes. So a move like king b3 makes perfect sense. And you have to go passively with the rook.
Seems like no other move.
For the moment, rook c1, and then you very slowly bring the rook back. Maybe even with b5, but
whoa, he's thinking of advancing
c3.
Okay,
no.
Change his mind.
I think he said, wait a minute, I'm not right. That's a little soft.
Offer of a trade. I'd play rook d5 here.
To avoid.
Say I'm not trading with you. And there we go.
I think the real unfortunate reality here is you can take a look at the clocks, and now all of a sudden we're equivalent.
b5.
He has gotten in b5, but then that move c7, c6, not immediately, but that will ensure a further trade of pawns. Pardon me. c7, c6 is basically unpreventable at this point, and it's 2 versus 1, and that's really theoretically.
Yeah, no, Garry's going to get out of this one alive for sure. We'll see if Vishy can conjure up some magic. But this ending, winning that pawn, the way he won the pawn was not quite.
It's about the clock as well.
He has played c3, however.
Yeah.
Keeping some of the bite in the position.
So he wants his king on c4. He wants his pawn on d4. And he says, okay, I've maximized what I could potentially do. Garry says, well, I'm here to harass you. I want to threaten
mate into a mate threat. What?
So I will probably play d4.
Now my king has an escape route.
Look at Vishy like, whoa, 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 whoa. Chill.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He said rook b1.
The clocks are
interested in getting
entirely equalized at this point as well.
Okay.
I mean, good thing he played that move, by the way, because Garry just conjured up. Can you imagine a mating idea in the position?
Let's just show the video.
Yeah, let's just show it really quick if he had played.
So imagine that Vishy had reached for his rook and allowed this check. This is really embarrassing.
Yeah.
There's no place to park the king. Everything is in. That did not happen.
No.
Let's stress.
Defend the square, or he had to create that escape route with the pawns.
Let's stress. It did not happen.
Okay, the threat is back.
Again.
This could be the beginning of a repetition then.
Check, and mate is on the. I'm thinking d4.
And he has repeated.
There's the beginnings of a
and
repetition.
Now rook to e5.
And he said, okay, you still, I'll suck your blood? Is that what Garry
That's what Garry said.
Yeah. Oh, rook. Okay. That's a funny move. Maybe you're threatening to force the trade of a pair of rooks.
Yes.
With rook a3, check, followed by rook a1. So Garry's goal is very simple. He wants to force a trade of rooks and get rook and 3 versus rook and 2. And that, again, is getting closer and closer to a draw. The coveted draw he needs to secure the match.
And the time for Vishy has, for the first time in the game, dipped below Garry's, as he's realizing that the bite he hoped was in the position has not been neutralized.
I normally wouldn't be too concerned with this many pieces left on the board in Super GMs with 10 seconds of increment, but we saw what happened just the other day. Vishy just failed to check in with his clock at a certain point.
He faded right out. The clock wasn't
And
there.
it was from a minute to 0 that it happened. And now 30 seconds said, okay, the d-pawn will move forward. It does create that escape path for the king.
And this is the problem, that Garry can now force a trade of rooks with rook check and king c4, rook there. And he's just going to chase this rook down and force its eventual trade. And then again, it's rook and 3 versus rook and 2.
He knows it.
Very easy draw.
He's very clear on it, and he's actually just going after the trade more directly. Vishy trying to avoid it, but
cannot.
Garry is
forcing
screwing in that rook,
King's
saying,
on the run.
Let's see you hide.
Which one? Alrighty.
That was funny. Garry was like hesitant which rook, the king's rook or the queen's rook should be attacking. And Vishy is acquiesced to the trade of the rook.
Down to 1 rook apiece.
And now the only thing you can do is bring the pawn to c5 and force yet another pawn trade.
Well, he's going to keep on working at it, but it's Garry Kasparov we're talking about. He's not going to let this one go down. And as you said, the pawn is advancing, and he can even just keep his eye on this pawn.
Yeah, he can just wait and play rook to b4 at this moment.
Even rook c1 is possible. No?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, many moves draw at this point.
And while the result's not in, now's when you begin the discussions about the fact that Vishy's just running out of games to start to build that comeback.
That's
right?
right.
Again, not mathematically out with 3 points dedicated per win. This ends in a draw. He's still 5 points behind with only 3 games to go at that point. You're running out of room.
I'll tell you, though, I feel Vishy will not feel that badly about this game.
He had good control. He played a good game.
He may not feel like, there was not much there. Garry defended well. We have a logical draw. I had some chances. He doesn't know that he had more chances or not. I think he's going to walk out of this feeling like, I gave it a shot, and it didn't work out. And
I had some,
on to the next game.
Yeah, and I kept pressure on my opponent the whole game. You feel good about that.
Now they're approaching move 60 while repeating as well, so they're almost there. They can actually offer a draw at this point. Move 60 has arrived.
There it is.
And they're smiling.
Yeah. Do you want to play?
Hear them talking about it, and it looks like
I guess
draw
they
was offered and
draw.
accepted as the kings get repositioned to the middle of the board.
Yeah. Let's hear what they might be discussing. Speaking of normal voice, they're whispering.
Then I don't know, like if it's at least but you just said was position was so bad. I'm sorry. It's like I don't know, you play so great game. F6 is
Gary's criticizing his move F7, F6. I actually thought it was a decent move at the time he played it, but his follow-up, Maurice, I really have the feeling that Vishy let something escape him.
I'm checking right now, and it seems as though he didn't miss anything back here as we come to the big board.
Yeah.
This was the position that we were concerned about. When Garry found some star defensive moves, clearly. Star defensive moves, and he found this one. And this is the position where we wanted to take on F7. But actually, after takes and takes, in this position takes, you keep going with this capture.
Which is what we looked at mostly, yep.
There is this little thorny move, weirdly enough, attacking the base.
I didn't see that.
In this position. Now, how do you continue here? If you play the move D3, there is this move, E4, that wakes you up. And that one is a little bit nasty.
That's a surprise move.
Yes, opening up on this side right here, you obviously see the pin on the diagonal, so you can't just capture because you lose your knight to that bishop. And suddenly it's black with the initiative in this position. So it seems as though Vishy did not miss an opportunity, played correct chess, and sometimes correct chess is just a draw. So
wow,
that's all it was, an interesting game.
Visually, it looked like there was something there, James. But in the end, good defense.
Well, if nothing else, then maybe a confidence builder, like you say. I played good chess.
Right.
There just wasn't anything there to be found.
Right.
So, hey, let's go ahead and reset. I go to the black side of the board. Let's take a look at the score lines, because as we mentioned, it is still well within striking distance here for Vishy and Anand coming through the first game of the day. 1.5 points apiece awarded for that draw brings us to 10-5 overall. But no bonus money.
No bonus
awarded
money.
because there was no
$3,000.
decisive victory, and $3,000 in play per game today means that games 11 and 12 just got all that much more juicy, from $6,500 a piece to $8,000 now.
In the blitz. In the blitz.
What a payday, what a payday that would be.
Getting saucy.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to take a break, but first we're going to check in with our good friends at Q Boutique to see what is the special for today. Well, own a piece of chess history signed by the legends. Commemorate the historic clash that chess fans have waited a lifetime for with this black unisex t-shirt that proudly represents the Clutch Chess The Legends logo, as well as authentic signatures from both Vishy and Garry on the sleeve. It's available at QBoutique, STL.com. come in person if you're anywhere near the Central West End.
One more time, what was that? QBoutique,
STL.com.
I'm going to go ahead and
swag, a little swag for you there,
You guys want one? I'll throw a card for you.
Extra large.
One of each.
If you're giving them away.
We're going to get these on order, but as we go to break, Yasser took the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with Grandmaster Viswanathan Anand to ask him about his favorite variant. Take a look.
After this move, Kasparov had no worries. Anand now playing his queen up to f3, trying to defend the position.
And that looks quite an insipid move. Black's knight dropping back, hitting the bishop on b6. So it looks like Kasparov in control. An exchange taking place on c6, where this could open up the line for Black's queen down towards the weak pawn.
And then the black queen leaping into the d6 square, and there Kasparov leaving the room as if to say, what are you going to do about this response? And Anand was feeling the heat.
Well, it's clear that Anand's opening preparation simply hasn't worked out here, and it's Kasparov who's managed to improve his game from week one.
And in fact, the position had liquidated down, and the players stopping for a moment, and after Anand captured the pawn in the middle of the board, without much tension left, Kasparov hovering there and offering a draw to the surprise of the crowd. But in fact, Anand accepted, and the game had ended in a draw.
Well, another draw, but I think Kasparov has got to be pretty pleased with this game because he's neutralized Anand's opening preparation. Anand didn't come up with anything new.
Well, the score after game 5, no wins, and the score was tied at 2.5, 2.5.
Chess has many variants that you can play. Losers chess, king of the hill, 3-check, horde, crazy, crazy variants. Did any variants appeal to you? Did you ever play?
As a kid, I played, so I remember the National Junior Championship in Dharwad in 1982.
Right.
I remember playing there, and some of the guys were getting together and playing losers chess.
Okay.
So I joined in with them and played a couple of rounds, and then I went to the game. And at some point I had to hold my hand because I was just going to throw a piece.
Right.
And I had to hold my hand and
stop.
I mean, it kind of terrorized me. I realized, I thought, if I play a lot of losers chess, I wouldn't be able to snap back into reality, and I better stop this. So I stopped playing losers chess. But they also played. Well, the name we were given was Bug House.
Yeah, we use it too.
It's, no, but the thing is, I don't think that Bug House and this Bug House are the same. So what I played was you capture a piece and you put it back on the board, and that's it.
So you didn't have a teammate?
No, you didn't have a teammate, and I think something else felt different. So maybe it was a precursor variant of Bug House. That I enjoyed a lot because I could see the Crazy House or whatever it's called. I think what I found fascinating was the way that some people would capture enemy pieces to create a defensive wall around their king and continuously think. Right. Whereas if your king was more exposed and whatever.
Yeah.
That I found fascinating a few times, but I didn't play it a lot since then. Recently, I got dragged into some Bug House, especially the team version.
Right.
But then in many games, I'm sitting there waiting for my partner to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was in London. I was playing with Prug as my teammate, and Prug just told me at some point, "You don't make a move." You don't make a move because if you do something, your opponent will capture something and pass it to him. So I need you to freeze.
Right.
So I am sitting there just waiting. I have 2 minutes, and he said, "No, it's okay. I know how much time you have. I'm keeping track of both clocks, and I'm barely keeping track of mine." And then he finished his game quickly. He said, "Okay, now you go," or something like that. Anyway, it was good fun. 960 turns out to be very interesting. Obviously, getting ready for this event, I took a serious look at it, and still I have no idea what it is I saw. But I mean, you have this feeling that yes, I've seen that somewhere, but I'm sure that all the pieces are in the place it's supposed to be. Right. But already you need one or two to be swapped around, and it confuses you. But 960 is quite fascinating. And I'll finish with a story of who else? Vasily Ivanchuk. So I think it was in, yes, it was in Amber in '93. Maybe you were there as well.
Maybe.
So Vasily comes to me at the table and says, I want to play a game with you. I said, okay. Then he says, the queen is rook and knight, not bishop and knight. I mean, bishop and rook, but rook and knight.
Ah.
And I said, oh yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay.
And then he says, okay, I'll play. He says,
It's
I
a
play
blitz.
queen c3.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, d1 to c3.
Yes.
And I played knight f6. Played queen takes c7 mate. Because the queen is not a bishop, right? And I was furious with it because he had set me up for exactly this.
Exactly.
He got, and I fell into it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Didn't suspect a thing.
Never.
And I made him so happy I was annoyed with myself. Anyway, but I wish you'd been there.
I think I was actually, because I remember laughing about the story. Nice. Fishy, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, yes.
Two legendary world champions, Garry Kasparov and Viswanathan Anand, will do battle once again in Clutch Chess, The Legends, a special exhibition match celebrating their incredible legacies. Kasparov, a chess icon who held the title for 15 consecutive years, and Anand, a 5-time world champion, will compete in an epic Chess 960 match with $144,000 in prizes on the line. Catch this unique moment in chess history live from the new state-of-the-art facility at the St. Louis Chess Club. It's an unforgettable event you won't want to miss.
From world capitals to the chess capital of America, titans of chess have traversed the globe to prove one thing: who will be the next Grand Chess Tour champion? Each stop yielded elated winners, but it all came down to 4, and beautiful Sao Paulo, Brazil set the stage for an epic final showdown. After a tense first match, Fabiano Caruana and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave emerged victorious, but with the title bout deadlocked after Classical, it all came down to Rapid and Blitz. Once the dust settled after a stunning comeback, only one man was left standing, and Fabiano Caruana was crowned the 2025 Grand Chess Tour champion. Following a decade of impeccable events, the tour looks to the future and all of the excitement that will unfold on the 2026 Grand Chess Tour.
America's top chess players are set to compete in the most prestigious national championship in the world, the 2025 U.S. Chess Championship and the 2025 U.S. Women's Chess Championship, hosted by the newly expanded St. Louis Chess Club. Defending champions Fabiano Caruana and Carissa Yip will lead an illustrious field from October 12th through 25th, with a total prize fund of more than $400,000 on the line. Don't miss chess history in the making.
Clutch Chess Champion Showdown is here, and 4 superstars take the stage. World number 1, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano Caruana, and reigning world champion Gukesh Damaraju. With more than $400,000 on the line, daily win bonuses, escalating point values, and the one-of-a-kind Champions Jackpot, every game could change everything. It all unfolds October 27th through 29th, live from the brand new playing halls of the St. Louis Chess Club. Don't miss a moment of chess history in the making.
By now, you guys probably know there's a lot to see and do in St. Louis. But when it comes to the art scene, there's more here than meets the eye. From Laumeier Sculpture Park and the City Garden to the stunning Cathedral Basilica, one of the largest mosaic collections in the entire world. So if art is your thing, St. Louis is on display all year long. Ooh, now that's an exhibit. St. Lou is always exploring.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clutch Chess, The Legends, the final day here in the St. Louis Chess Club. It's running out of time here for Vishy Anand when it comes to chasing down Garry Kasparov, who has built himself a 5-point lead over the course of 2 days, and the early bout here in Rapid number 1. It ended in a draw, so 1.5 points apiece means 10-5 is our overall scoreline. With 3 points in play for each of the remaining games, still an opportunity for Vishy to get back into it. But a quick reminder of the format here. It's 12 rounds of chess 960 with no draw offers before the 60th move of Black's side of the board at the very least. We've already played one game of 25-10. We've got one more to go before we dive into the Blitz games to close things out. Already mentioned the scoring system there. So again, still, if Vishy can get a win on the board, I think here very importantly, he's going to have to start throwing a couple tricks in. He's going to have to try to make something happen because I'm worried, while mathematically you're in it, 5 points down with both Blitz games to go, winning back-to-back Blitz games to close out the day is going to be a difficult, difficult task.
Well, how sweet it would be, though, right?
Oh, sweet indeed. In the last 2 games,
right?
To overtake your
and
opponent
the bonus money.
after having not won a single game so far.
Right.
But it's not looking good.
If
Garry wins now, folks,
that's it. That
it's
closes the
over.
match.
This closes out the match, and Garry looks determined with the handshake. He is ready. He knows this clinches the match virtually. A draw also puts Vishy's back to the wall.
Where he needs to win both Blitz matches. But again, that is bonus money and the 3 points. Vishy has everything to play for.
Everything to play for.
And the game he just played was easily one of the most promising of those games. And B2, B3. Garry said, you know what? Your opening move was the best.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree, but Garry was impressed.
Just to put a fine point on it for those of you at home, Vishy essentially needs a draw and 2 wins in order to get that leapfrog up into the top spot. For Garry, it's 1 win across the 3 remaining games, and he will put himself out of reach of Vishy Anand.
Isn't this funny? They both claim the same idea.
I liked yours.
Very, very much.
Whoa, he's actually
F4.
choosing Vishy's plan.
He was impressed.
Notably, though, of course, we're moving a lot faster. Since we've already played a game that's went this way, there's no 6 minutes leaving the clock of either player here in the initial moves. So that makes me wonder, where in that break did they see a fork in the road from the previous game,
Exactly.
right? If we're going to follow the same pathway at some point, I imagine they're going to deviate.
Yeah.
Who is it that feels like they've got the answer and from which side of the board?
I think both of them are going to come to the conclusion that those early knight moves, those knight c3, knight c6, they interfered. They interfered with what was going on. But Maurice, during our little break, we got a chance to look at the engine there a little bit. We were looking at that position after knight g4. The engine was saying, if Vishy had played knight d3, an advantage position, and just keep it, and use your clock time too, right? And we went, yeah. So we feel that Vishy missed an opportunity in the game that was just played.
Vishy's not going to follow Garry's moves.
And by the way,
and already we see
D7, D5
on the board because it made no sense to go into a position where you're the one suffering. So he's taken it down a completely different path by just placing a pawn dead center in the middle of the board. And we expect Garry to stop and think for a while, but he has not done so. He said, nope, solve my problem by bringing my knight out.
Let's just go back just a quick moment of apologies. If you're going to play d5, do it here. And I can assure you in this position, you're not playing b6 because you're not putting your bishop on b7 anymore. You're putting your bishop on f5, right? So it feels like there's a bit of a logic glitch. The combination of both, escape. That's
a good page to bookmark, though.
Yeah,
this is a game that's going to be worth remembering. So I appreciate it. And save it, too. Why not? Let's get it onto the hard drive everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. We're going to hit games. Oops.
All right. While you're messing around over here, let's just put the moves on the board. He played f4, played knight here, played knight to f2.
Yep.
He played c5.
Did Vishy.
e3 did Garry play, and now the move knight to c6. And this is what's on the board. And I will say that eval bar at the moment is saying the engine likes black.
It gave a small question mark to that f2 move, knight to f2.
Okay, like as if it's a missed opportunity or something
like
that. It's funny, without the move b6, this is what I was begging for in the first game. Play c5, play d5, put your knight on c6, keep the pawn on b7 for just a moment, and play a completely different type of setup. Bishop b2 came. Garry's playing so much faster than he played that first game. Big difference.
Knight G6 now on the board, and I will say one thing. Vishy's play has been fluid and classical. Pawns in the center, knights develop before
Right.
bishops, and if he can get his king to safety in the right square, his queen is not being blocked by a fianchetto bishop at the moment, so he can put the bishop on the other diagonal as well. This bishop sitting on the C8 square. This bishop still has options of either going to this square, which would seem natural, or maybe this one, although it has to worry about a G4 push. It looks likely that Garry will castle queenside, but also there's this idea of an E5 break that might be lurking in the position. Also a D4 shutdown break. Lots of options in the position.
Considering G4, I like the G-pawn move then. Let's get our bishop onto that light square diagonal so that if you're pushing, right, now you can't push D4 as easily. I'm eyeing that long diagonal, pinning the knight to the queen.
Not a bad idea, pushing this pawn up to G3 and then bringing the bishop to the G2 square. Yes, not a bad idea either. But I will say, from a classical perspective, and I'm talking old school, pre-hyper-modern day classical, grabbing the E5 center break would be a nice idea. And if white doesn't do anything serious to black, black will move the bishop, this bishop I'm talking about, and maybe even castle kingside. I know that's going to be saucy, but it will give black all of the center and some opportunities there, yes.
Sauce might be what Anand needs.
Well, we're all hoping for a competitive end of the match. It's going to be difficult for you to play E5. I've got E5. It's going to be difficult for you to move the bishop without including F6, because I'll take the pawn. So, for example, if Garry says, okay, I'll chill, bishop E2, your turn, I'm thinking in Garry's shoes of castling short. Just get my king out of the center, and I'll choose in a moment how I'm going to hit in the center. Am I going to play for C4? Am I going to play for D4? Am I going to play for F5 and maybe E4?
All right, let's see why it's so difficult to play this move.
I'll take it.
You're taking, and I imagine you want to play bishop B5
I want a pawn.
Okay, so
my next turn is D4, if you allow me.
Yeah, you want to cement with your extra pawn.
I do.
All right, let me go after it.
Okay, D4. I'm a pawn grabber.
I know.
I have it, my nature. What did Garry say? My nature?
Yeah, I don't know why I actually walked into what
all I ask.
You've fallen into my trap.
More than anything in life. Yeah, maybe I...
Thank you, dear Lord, for
don't have the
giving me
counterplay
delivering them to
that I wanted.
Maurice. For he is golden.
Yes, with your castling. All right, let's back up.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just go back.
Play bishop E2 here.
Yeah, I develop. Development, I was told, is good. Good things.
By the way, this bishop move not on
the board. No, this is the current position. We're just saying,
right,
Garry to play. You like G2, G3. I like development. By the way, I also like knight A3, developing. And I'm thinking in my mind's eye that, you know what? The knight to B5 to C3 would be good. But I like bishop E2 because I like the option of castling early. Just let's get it out there.
Okay. Well, either way, this is the first moment of the game where Garry has gone back into a bit of that slower pace that we've seen out of him in the early
throughout
moves.
the match. And in day ones and day two games, 4 games a day, of course, Garry had been habitually the one behind on the clock, and that's been the case in this game 9 that was played earlier, and now game 10. Vishy has enjoyed, but then Vishy doesn't properly utilize that time advantage that he's been getting time and time again, like that game 9. He had a very, very big time advantage and then went down a forcing pathway, and Garry said, okay, I can defend a pawn down. And it was a big relief for Garry to make a draw in that game. Maurice, you've got something on our big board to show us with the knight on G6.
Yes, it's still Garry's turn to move, but I was very curious about this position here.
Bishop E2, yeah.
About your bishop E2 move. And indeed, E5 is considered a very strong move by the engine. I didn't know how to back it up. But after takes, here, the engine has a couple of moves it's thinking about. Bishop E7 is one of them to actually be able to castle in this position. There's also the possibility of the move D4. Now, this is as saucy as it gets. I mean, this position is extremely sharp. You're trying to get this pawn back. You're shutting down the diagonal here for these two pieces, and it's just a pawn sack. Now, to Yasser, this is a pawn blunder, but still, Yasser, what do you do in this position as it's...
Probably castles long?
And if you castle long here...
castles queenside, I beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry, castles long, you said. Let me back that up. So you want to castle this way?
And I was thinking to bring the rook to E1.
Now, remarkably, the move bishop to E7, as calm, as cool as, yes, I'm sacrificing a pawn, I'm going to castle, and sooner or later collect this button and just ask you, how exactly do you do it that you get back in this game? It's an interesting position. We can analyze on your board there. The actual move played by Garry was knight to C3, and we'll continue with this position.
Well, what's stopping me from playing D4 here?
Not much.
Nothing. It was funny because I was reaching for the knight so I could play knight A3 to B5, and I think that that is Garry's intention of meeting the move D4, which is what you wanted to do as a pawn sacrifice. Now he's going knight to B5, and by the way, saying cover the C7 square.
I mean, I'm shocked because, again, the engine is saying after knight C3 that E5 is the best move.
Wow.
This is a move that is so counterintuitive in terms of just straight play, but it's very logical in terms of waking up the position and getting a great break in the center. And that knight on C3 has allowed that to happen. But the biggest fear would be the move knight to B5 if it had any punch to it.
Well, it has a big threat. That's for sure. I suppose the queen is going to go to B8 to defend the square and maybe defend E5 as well.
And Vishy has played the move D4 on the board. I think we're seeing a different Viswanathan Anand today.
Well, that's an understanding of the position of the match, right? And the overall score line. He's gotta start throwing some punches at some point. If he wants to claw his way back into it, he's going to need 2 wins to overtake his opponent, and there's only 3 games to go.
Okay, D4 asks a very pertinent question. Where are you moving your knight? Yes, you could take the pawn, but I don't think you really want to do that because I'll return the favor obnoxiously and threaten knight takes C2. By the way, there's another button on a tap as well. So I don't think you're capturing. I think we are playing knight B5, and we are going after the C7 square, and then just chill.
Chill is good.
Chill is good. F4 is hanging in case you capture, and in case you do, I can always kick you back and maybe play knight takes D4. I don't like knight C3 whatsoever. I think Garry has provoked Vishy. Vishy said, okay, I'll take up the challenge. I like the position, D4.
Boy, Vishy's starting to show some nice form now. Why?
A little late.
2 days to get there. But
hey,
better late than never.
Right.
So help me understand, because these 2 knights were knights that in the previous game we were criticizing for being on these 2 squares.
Right.
And it looks like in this case it's still ill-advised for the white side of the board.
For the white side especially.
Why not so on the black side of the board? What has changed that makes that knight better positioned?
It was the inclusion of C7, C5. Previously, both players left their pawns on C2 and C7, and the knights were in the way. Now this knight on C6 is actually supporting the D4 pawn chain, and that D4 is a thorn for white. That D4 pawn blocks the long diagonal and nullifies the potence of the bishop on B2 and the queen on A1. They're just backing and hitting a brick wall.
The most important thing
is
that Garry is aware. Garry knows something is not quite
wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Vishy's play looks so natural and normal, and he has got an anemic bishop on b2 and queen on a1.
Look at him. He's frustrated right now.
Definitely not happy with the situation on the board.
Exactly. The way I would approach this as Garry, I would say, okay, the drawback of the move d4, I know it's not much, is that you have weakened the c4 square. So that, for example, after a move like knight to b5, queen b8, again, protecting, bishop to d3, not perfect, not perfect. a7, a6, the knight can at last go to c4 and perhaps better square. Did he play knight e2?
He did. He played knight e2. So as opposed to going forward to b5.
I think that, given the circumstance, that was a decent move. But again, I'm thinking Vishy is the one who's dictating the action right now. I like the move e5 a lot. I like even, well, what else do I like? I like this move. Can I like e5, but I keep reaching for that pawn.
But this allows e4, no?
Yeah, but okay, correct. But guess what? Yeah, I achieved the big deal.
Okay.
You know, maybe I could ask for more.
No, let's ask for more.
Yep.
e5. Come on. If e5 is sound,
E5,
you play it. You put
I want
it
to
on
get
the
my
board.
bishop involved
Agreed.
too, right? Now my dark square bishop can get into the game.
Again, I'm not pleased, but I castled. Let's just chill. Maybe I have to put in the very near future moves like knight to d3. Oof, oof, oof. It's not pretty.
This is looking really nice for black. The space is just so wonderful. I don't want to play f6 in this position. And
that was what Garry played last time, and it didn't work for him. There was bishop g6 came in a happy moment.
Because what I really want to do is just play bishop e7 and castle. But I'm wondering about the center. Is it still? Let's put it on the board.
Okay.
Let's put bishop e7 on the board. If you take.
Okay.
You're threatening to take my pawn on d4. Is that serious? No, right?
I'll do it. Maybe you could take on e3 and castle.
Much for you to do that.
I mean,
wait. At the end, there's a bishop c5 siding.
Okay, so give it a look-see. Go ahead,
so
castle.
Take all the way around, and bishop c5. Then you have. How do you defend? All right, let's try it.
Let's try it. Castles, takes.
I take.
And then if I take, you said a bishop c5 siding. Oh, immediately. Okay. Take.
This is what I was talking about. I'll just show you what I was talking about.
And this is very nice, bishop c5. And you skewer my knight because I don't have queen f4 or queen h4. And this is great.
This is what I was
for Vishy. That's what you want. Mm-hmm. So it means I can't take on d4, but I can preface that capture.
So hold on. After f e5 back here, we go backwards.
Castles.
And I castled.
And I take on d4 as you suggested.
You want to take, and I take.
And now I'll play knight to d3, getting my knight off of that square and maybe stopping bishop c5.
But your knight is also a target on the d3 square. I can play
that.
Bishop. I'm going to play a natural move. Just wait. Your other knight is defended. So I'll just play this one.
I'll take it on d4. You're as previously played.
But now your
say it.
But now your rook is hanging on the back rank, so I could take.
Take.
You take.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if I take on d3, you take, and then your rook is defended.
It's defended.
If I take, you have that. But also the way the lines just opened up.
Hey, look, Gary's in trouble, and I'm just.
That's the words. That's words we want to hear.
Gary's in trouble. And look, I'm going to die with a full tummy. I'm going to be 2 pawns up or a pawn up, or something good has got to happen for me.
Something about that C file.
I know.
Tactics percolating here.
Sicilian players.
Bishop A3, Queen C6.
You've got compensation, but by the way, I've been seeing this picture a lot. I've been seeing Vishy at the board by himself.
A man and his thoughts.
He has good sitzfleisch.
I'm going to play a move while Vishy's still thinking. We're not exactly. We're still analyzing. Yeah. We're not showing the board position just yet because Vishy's still thinking. What do you do about this, Yas?
King b1.
You're going to move your king.
And maybe Queen c3 or Bishop c3 as well. But Bishop c3, King. I'm fairly solid. I got a good wall of pawns.
You sure do. But hold on, both these guys.
I know.
Let's say if I played Rook C8, you're gonna play Rook C1.
Okay, I'll fall for it. Go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering what you're gonna do.
Rook
okay, you
C1.
play Rook C1.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just keep
piling on.
Oh, I could play Knight F4. Wait, is that Knight F4 threatens da-da-da, not... Oh, wait, if you... I mean, come on, there's got to be something here. Okay, I'm going to just develop my last piece.
Okay.
If I can get that.
If you can do it.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Your move.
Okay.
We're way ahead, and we're just...
Right. We're just having fun.
We're just having fun.
Bishop C3, just to try to shut you down on the C file.
And if I play Bishop A3?
But again, how many pawns do I have? Please tell me I have lots of pawns.
You have one pawn for this trouble.
No.
No, you have two. Okay, fine.
See?
It's only two.
You're cheating me out of a pawn. Bishop E2. I'm happy to sack an exchange.
Oh, look at you
Happy
giving
to
away
sack it.
material.
Okay.
Happy to sacrifice an
Well, it's
exchange.
not a pawn, so he's not going to hold on to it for dear life.
Exactly.
You can have my rooks, but not my pawns.
We are
this is
far.
far ahead.
We
We're
are
having
far.
some fun.
But the point you're making is grabbing the center with E5 and keeping your pieces super active. That was what you wanted to do with Vishy's position.
To the game position, which is here.
We've just seen 92. By the way, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
I was about to say.
There's no discrepancy in the clock times.
Right, about the only time we've ever seen Garry ahead on the clock is when we're down in the single digits. But here we are well within the double digits. And Vishy's working with 15.5 to his name, 16:47 on the other side. So no time trouble per se, but a definite kind of switch up here in terms of what we've come to know as the normalcy.
Exactly.
He's done it.
E5.
That's what's up. He's done it. E5, he is playing a la Kasparov with such a move. This move, he took a long time, a long think. It's on the board. Vishy is going hunting. He knows he needs to win now.
Yes, he does.
Don't wait till the next games. He's played the most aggressive move on the board, the move Garry Kasparov would have played.
I know. And Gary's not at the board to grimace, but he didn't want to see that move. And I think, I just got to castle and just roll with the punches. But I think Garry understands that he's done something in the first 7 moves that has given the initiative to Vishy. By the way, one move that you would ask yourself, do I really need the move B6? Wouldn't it be sweeter to have Bishop E7 as a tempo than the move B6? Now, having said that, it's a real question for Garry. How do you deal with this?
Look at the engine is giving this move an exclamation mark.
Yeah, good
by
move.
The way, as the move to keep the advantage on the board. Wow. If he plays Bishop E7 next, if he finds all this to be able to bring his bishop out, get castled, and play dynamically, hopefully he's a better attacker than me, and Garry's a worse defender than you, and somehow he gets a chance to make this into a match. We're not rooting for any side, of course. We just want to have a competitive match.
We're rooting right now for Garry to get back to the board. A minute has left his clock while he's been away. Now 1.5 minutes, in fact. There he goes. Now he returns to see that E5 push.
And I'm sure he was thinking about this in his strolls. We've been watching Garry stroll around this beautifully renovated St. Louis Chess Club. But in a rapid chess, you don't really get up from the board that often. E5, the gauntlet has been laid down. What are you going to do? Are you going to capture and open up the position when you're underdeveloped? Look at Garry. Garry just sensing something's not copacetic about his position.
He's well aware. He's well aware. Yeah. As you said, if that bishop were on E7 and Black was able to castle, he'd be crying.
Exactly.
I mean, his position is now not even hedgehogian in it, the way he's set up this position like in a ball.
No.
It is Black who is super aggressive here and just needs 2 moves. Two moves to say, I'm actually just straightforward on the attack, on the assault.
Yeah. Exactly. If not takes, the only thing I can come back to is the G-pawn again. And
G3 or
creating
G4.
Some space for that bishop.
Preparing bishop G2. I'm thinking castle's short. Castle's long, pardon me. King to C1. It's not even castles. It's just king to C1. Just hippity hop, jumping over the rook with the idea that in case the E file does open up, maybe I could be the first to occupy it with a rook.
This is a hyper-complex position, though, with those pawns. You also have to worry about the possibility of a capture on E3, preempting your castling.
That's why. That's why I say do it now,
or
or
like to do it now.
Or
but
stop
with
shouting.
this on the board, plus you being able to do it as well, either one. Okay, I would eliminate this one. For sure.
No,
that one is not something White's
I'm
thinking
not
about.
touching that. Let's try it again. So we're going to castle for Garry, right here, right now. The one move I don't think Vichy should play is actually captures on f4, because I'm going to ignore that f4 pawn, and I think that really just actually simply ruins your position of sorts. It's not like I have to rush and capture. You know, this is not what you you want. So after castles, and I'm kind of thinking this lets me off the hook too. Like my queen and bishop are suddenly working.
Yeah, no me gusta. This is not what we want.
Okay.
We want to develop.
Yeah, bishop e7. I think that is right. Now, to your point, James, like gaining some space. If I'm not capturing in the center, I like what your suggestion was. Like, hey, you know, go for your own play. Put your bishop on the long diagonal, where let's hope it does something useful. Oops,
the
what do we have?
capture has been made on E5.
Garry
has said, "Show me."
I'll take the challenge.
Prove your
and now
point.
Vichy's going for proof.
Knight B4.
And the engine
That was a
absolutely
surprise
despises this move.
Wow.
I think Vichy must know the move castles long. Truly, you do not play knight before that, because it's such an obvious threat of knight takes c2. But when we castle, we protect the c2 square. We stop the fork. And
no, he's still going down the primrose path as though
that was his intention.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he thought. But Garry's already calculated this move.
Yeah.
I thought that was a misfire.
Chess is a brutal game. Chess is a brutal game.
As Jeremy Silman would say.
This is exactly what he calculated.
Chess is a brutal game, and then you die.
I mean, again, we have the benefit of the engine here, but that singular knight move took a 1-point advantage and erased it.
Really, the engine felt it was that.
We're at zeros.
Bad. Wow.
Okay, but zeros is not.
It's not
there
over.
Are zeros, and they're different.
No.
And you're up a pawn at the moment.
Is white.
So the engine saying that we are at zeros says that black has compensation.
Right.
That's
clear.
by
That's
definition.
exactly
right?
what it
so
means.
black does have some things to look for. It's not like white's pawns are the picture of perfection. These are not roses by any means. These black still can bring this bishop out at some point and castle and say, I've got easy play in my position, and I don't believe you're going to beat me in this position. He may have had more, but he certainly is not scared of what has just transpired.
But what I'm worried about, if I'm in black shoes, I would be very concerned about an early bishop b5 check, and I don't have a good way of meeting it. I don't want to meet bishop b5 with bishop d7. So in other words, a move like, I would find the move bishop f5 as problematic for black. The move knight g3, this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying I don't want to go into a position where the king, the black king, is actually, in my opinion, more vulnerable than the white king. So how was Vichy supposed to follow up his knight before, Maurice? Queen e4?
He has simply developed.
Did he play bishop e7?
Bishop d7.
Okay, bishop. So he didn't follow it up with queen. I thought he was going to go somehow queen e4 threatening mate on c2. He didn't. He didn't have a...
No. He said A and didn't say B. But A3 now is the most natural move. Does he have a response to A3?
Kicking the knight backwards.
And he is
Go away. Go away.
And
Gary's reaching for his pawn.
It's the most natural move. Just attack the knight and say,
it is.
What was this about?
What was it about?
And now it looks as though he has lost some of what he had. And in fact, the engine is now giving white a little bit of an edge.
Well, the question I would have, if you go away, if you comply, e6. Let's have a look-see. We've been talking about the queen and bishop battery from the opening move b3.
He's got to play f6. Sorry.
Oh, f6. Sorry. No.
No capture.
No capturing. No can do. Okay, so knight comes to f4. Maybe this pawn
Can
lives?
I take and take?
That is a good question.
I mean, I have to
kind of fix the pawn structure, though.
See if I can do it.
Yeah, and here we go. We've been talking about g5 for 2 games.
Yeah, I'm not.
We've been talking about g5 in this game, and
the more things change, the more they stay the same, right?
Right? Okay. I'm not saying. I'm saying this is how I can see the game developing from this moment, James.
I was just going to throw out a reminder to everybody here as well
Please.
that Garry wins this match. He wins,
wins this game?
Yeah, this game, he wins the entire match.
He
And
secures
so just
victory.
like that, where we were talking a moment ago about there was some compensation for black yesterday, you were telling me, well, if I can get your pieces on retreat all of a sudden, though, and that's what this move is doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take my material advantage, and I'm going to start sending you backwards.
Yeah, I love it. Anytime you want to retreat, please.
I mean, we could
Here's
go back.
Your papers. I approve.
We can go back
Please.
in time to this critical moment right here after f5.
Yeah.
Right? So if you take a look here, e5 was played. And by the way, he has played knight back to c6 in the actual game. So we know that is on the board.
Right.
But this was when he played e5, and then he went for it with knight b4. The knight is on c6. White's king is still in the middle of the board.
Right.
And black's pieces are not developed. Now, if we go forward, knight b4, castles, de3, de3, trade these guys off, trade this guy, and now bishop e7 and a3, and now your knight goes back to c6, we have essentially the same piece configuration, except
extra tempo.
Yeah, except your bishop is back, is on e7. That's all black got. Yes, you traded off a pair of rooks. Congratulations.
Nothing.
But your knight's back on c6. So you made 2 moves to allow me to play a3, and your knight's gone back. I just got a free move.
Mm-hmm. Got a free move. I love, by the way, the move knight f4, which Garry just played. Again, I like what you had said. That queen on a8, the knight on c6, I just gravitate to the long diagonal when I see that kind of setup, because I do love pinning my opponent's pieces. But knight f4, very, very sensible move. A moment ago, you saw me reaching for that e-pawn so I could blast open the diagonal. Garry says, I'm still thinking of blasting. And by the way, knight f4, good solid move. I still got g3. I got bishop e2. He's a pawn up.
Knight b4 was really
the wrong move. Just
on every
wrong
level.
Move.
On every
move.
level, knight b4 has created this situation where the knight is back on c6, and you can't say a3 was a bad move, castle's queenside was a bad move. Knight b4 didn't accomplish its goal.
No.
And now Vishy is in a situation where he must now draw the game at least, because winning is now gone out the window.
Yeah,
that ship has sailed and is going over the horizon pretty quickly. This time now he's got to think, how do I keep this game alive and not lose the game? Because if Garry wins, as
he secures the
match is over, and it'll all be consolation for the next 2 games.
Look at that body language there. You kind of feel.
Well, again, I will be very curious after the game if Vishy actually missed the move castles. He did follow it up quickly with his response, but knight b4, no, that just was a step in the wrong direction. Anyway, current situation, Vishy has got to realign himself and say, okay, I'm ready to castle. I'm ready to play rook e8. I'm a pawn down, but it's a double pawn. If I can castle and can win the e5 pawn back, I got something to look forward to. From White's point of view, Garry needs to develop his bishop on f1, his rook on g1. He's kind of set up for that. Bishop to d3 is coming. Rook to f1 is coming.
This bishop on f1 is so annoying, because This bishop, you guys mentioned, it could go to G3. Do that.
Yeah.
This bishop could go to D3 if it wants,
And
C4 if it wants, prepare to move E6, B5 if it wants to pin people, like, so that you can't take my pawn ever.
Right.
Like, the bishop is just one move, and Garry just has a plethora of choices.
E6.
By the way, knight
so
take.
scary.
Oh, this is really trading on White's terms because he's undoubled his pawns to begin with.
Connect 4 on the way.
Okay, the knight. I'm seeing the bishop popping out to the D3 square. The knight going to the E3 square. I'm a pawn up. What's there not to like about White's position?
Yasser Seirawan's favorite dream has just landed on the board.
My favorite living condition.
What? Don't we just, I like E6 now, though.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay, E6. Okay, that is a
Give
move to
No giving it
blast.
away. Stop it. You're giving it away.
That is a move to blast.
This is the Trojan horse here. You know, we're just giving it away. We're playing F6 is what we're doing. We're not giving you that sweet diagonal. This is.
I don't know. I would be a little bit reluctant. I'll tell you why. Because I like king hunting, as you guys know, and I don't like it when my king doesn't have enough defenders. You're going to have to give me this one. What do I have here at the end of the day, Maurice? What's the body count? Do I have a
down
pawn?
an exchange?
But I don't have a pawn. I thought when I went queen takes f4, I was winning the pawn back.
You're down the pawn.
I started a pawn down.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I do dislike the white queen here, though, now. She does feel a little bit caged
A
in.
little bit.
Queen
A
C3
little
is
bit.
coming pretty
Bishop to
quickly.
G. Yeah. I was trying to be brave, to be courageous, to be true to myself.
As everyone.
So says the Caro-Kann player, C4 English player. Who,
Michael Tall says, when I'm black, I use the Caro-Kann play to win.
There you go. Don't try to be something you're not.
That's it. That's it.
I
Castles
didn't
on the
say
board.
you can't win with the Caro, but you win by grabbing solid structure and then getting that
Don't
pawn.
give it away, Maurice. Don't give it away.
The clocks are in synchronicity at the
Okay.
moment, as both players have just dipped below 10 minutes for the first time.
I think Vishy's got knight D. Look, he's a pawn down. He might as well go all in. I think he's got knight D4 on his mind because of those tactics that you were suggesting in case of a double capture. Knight D4, bishop F5, and trying as best he can to damage White's king's protection.
But is that too risky to the overall match? If I go all in here, am I not risking too much it turning on its head? I lose the match. I lose this game entirely, and therefore the match. And instead say, you know what? My opportunities in this game have left me. We've got to get our way to a draw and at least keep my hopes alive for back-to-back wins down the stretch.
I'm with you on that assessment.
Yes.
Draw this game. Draw. This is not the game to be thinking about winning. You're down a pawn, and I'm looking at the pawns going, they're so healthy. Like, seriously?
Suddenly,
White's pawns are just so nice.
Okay, again, from Gary's point of view, 3 pieces, actually 4 pieces aren't working. The queen on A1, the knight on D1, the bishop on F1. So let's bring them out of the hospital, out of the locker room, and into play. Knight E3 with the concept of bishop D3, maybe knight F5, maybe knight D5. So knight E3, let's go. Give me a move for Vishy.
Rook D8.
Rook D8, excellent move. Bishop out. Come on, you can do it, Yaz. Bishop out. Bishop to D3. Okay, so again, I'm just bringing my pieces into their natural squares, their development. And
Knight D4.
Knight D4, good move. Bishop you needs protection. You're threatening knight take. Did you see that move that Vincent missed against? He was playing his German rival, the guy who qualified, Bluebone. He missed that knight takes G3. Oh,
that was
knight
nasty.
takes B3 is your threat. Rook to D1 defends the bishop for the moment. And again, I'm thinking knight F5. I'm thinking king B1, king A2 to get my queen into the game. So this is how I anticipate.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry. Hold on. What was it? Knight E3, knight D4. Oh, rook D8, bishop D3, knight D4, rook D1. Hold on. You had to move, Maurice. I interrupted you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just do bishop B7 for now.
Bishop B7 for now. What are you? Is that a threat?
Is it?
Would you really like to take that pawn, Maurice? I know you're not taking pawns in front of your king.
Test me.
I courageously
help yourself.
I courageously defended
yourself. Okay, Bishop E4. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
E4. Okay, come on, let's go.
I need to do something while you're still not quite there.
I'm not ready for you to jump in. So knight takes B3 still a threat?
That's what I'm threatening.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm threatening.
That is crazy. Okay. I'll tell you what.
You're taking moves back.
I will. I'll defend.
I'll take that as a win.
Again, the benefit of being on this desk is you get to take moves back.
I'll take it back. And you still got Bishop E4, by the way, if you want.
Yeah. This is what we're after.
I don't know if you wanted it or not, but you still have it.
Might as well. At least you put a good square. I'm waiting for you to figure out what you want to do.
My queen's messed up.
What?
My queen's messed up. You're threatening knight takes B3, and I didn't like it.
Now you got me excited. I just wanted my bishop that's sitting on E7 to do some work, but I cannot figure out how to get it in the game.
It's not that easy, no. There's still something in the position. I didn't like having to play bishop F1, so let's try it one more time. I love it, the starting move, by the way. I like bishop D3 as a starting move, too. Maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the knight actually should be defending the bishop. What's the difference?
Oh, rook D8 first, please. Sorry.
Oh, please, of course. What's the difference?
But now knight to F2.
I don't have to worry about knight takes. In this iteration, I don't have to worry about knight takes B3 because the knight actually defends the bishop, and that's an improvement.
Back it up.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sacking another pawn, C4.
Wow.
Stupid as it seems.
Wow. Okay. You guys were telling me you don't go all in. and then like, I'm going for blah, 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 blah. I throw the red flag.
For the record, these have all been Maurice's moves. I am not a party to this.
A fair-weathered friend you got over here.
Let's go.
Okay.
I agree with the strategy, not the execution. Let's say that.
Okay, let's have some fun. Okay. And now you want to play queen takes G2, Maurice. Do it somehow.
Why are you telling me what I want to do?
Because I can see what you want to do.
Because he knows you.
I know you.
It is a juicy thing if I could pull that off. Also, there's this bishop E3 check, picking off your pawn. That's possible.
I don't think you wanted that.
But you don't think I want to do that.
Yeah,
I love how you're reading my mind because you know I want to be aggressive. Let's just play knight D4. Go.
Again. Knight to D4 makes perfect sense to me. And again, I wanted to stop you from landing on home plate.
Excuse me, knight B3 check. Let's go.
Let's go. Knight B3 check. Takes.
Give me that.
Takes. And what do we have? We have a bishop of opposite color?
Yeah, take that.
Queen to B1 though?
No. Queen E4, bishop F5 coming. Your B3 pawn is currently hanging.
G2 is hanging.
G2. Ooh, I think I got you, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think I caught you out there with this one.
No question.
Little hustler tricks, they work sometimes.
No question.
Yasser.
But I'm trying to develop.
Guess what?
No.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
We just spent 6 minutes talking about all the possible variations.
Correct.
Gary has spent that same 6 minutes working through all the variations, but has yet to make a decision.
I'm really stunned because bring the pieces out is the most natural thing in the world. You develop your pieces. Knight F2, bishop D3. That took
bishop D3.
Wow. How long did that take him? No, what was the clock?
It was just over 6 minutes. He was at 9:40 or so when his turn started.
He used 60-70% of his time?
Yeah. And he just got up from the board.
What's going on with Garry?
Like, Vishy just needs to play rook D8 and wait when the seconds tick away.
No, rook D8 followed by knight D4 are automatic moves.
Yeah,
I mean, you just got to develop your pieces too. Nobody's stopping you. And again, the queen on A1. Mm-hmm. What the heck is going on with Garry?
Yeah, these are obvious moves, though. As soon as Garry gets up out of his seat, I'm moving. Put
Yeah,
the
play
clock
rook
right back on him.
Yeah.
Hope he didn't see it as he was turning his back.
I would be playing.
Yeah, you wait until he walks a little bit further.
Yeah.
Out of
Just
sight.
as he
So
turns the
doesn't
corner.
hear it.
Out of sight.
And you press the clock very
Softly.
lightly.
Gingerly as possible.
Correct.
A deft touch.
You remember those old analog clocks where you could smash them, but when your opponent was away, it was like the most discreet.
That's right.
Twist.
That's right. You got to know all the tricks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, rook d8
Rook
seems
d8
quite natural right now.
plays itself. Alternatives, in my mind, would include a5 and a4. I wouldn't mind softening things up a little bit, but rook d8 is too natural a move to.
Okay, Gary's back, so he didn't get the advantage of those
Nope.
last couple of moves, but I
No.
do really like that rook d8 move. It's just
Very, very much.
now the minus to rook d8. Let's be clear,
Yep.
which has now been played and now 93 on the board, and quickly. I mean, he knew he was going to do this.
Of course. He spent 6 minutes anticipating.
You better
And
know.
anticipating that.
So 93 on the board. The minus to rook d8
Yes.
is it goes on the one open file that white will also be competing for. So if you're on the
There's a
file,
trade.
you better make sure that the bishop doesn't walk out the way and offer a clean trade.
Right.
And what did you do? You've just offered more trades when you're pawn down. You cannot trade off those rooks.
No.
You that's the last thing you want to do, unless you're pocketing a pawn for it.
Right.
Make sure you're getting that. So that's the minus to this move.
Can I control that D file then in a different way? I mean, it's slow, I realize, but I'm looking at H5. Now my light squared bishop comes out to G4.
H5?
Yeah.
Make a little king luft, protect the
then
square G4.
Now you can't get to D1. Obviously, you can get to D1 before that, and then you're up to D2, and you're still controlling the file to some degree.
I understand. One of the things, I'm not really that anxious to put my rook to D1 as much as I am to develop my queen. Like, I see my queen on A1, and I say, girl, no. I'm looking at bishop C3, king B2. I'm looking at king B1, king A2. I was playing the move rook D1 because Maurice was pawn hunting. He won't admit it, but he was playing the move knight D4 because he wanted to hunt down call him out. He wanted to hit my pawn, and that was why I played rook D1, and that was why you, James, were starting to think you could play bishop to G4. I wasn't putting my rook there voluntarily. By the way, Garry instantly. No, I'm not tolerating that.
By the way,
you got to go.
You got to be fascinated by something here. Take a look. He is up a full pawn, is Garry, but the inch is just giving him a teeny tiny, minuscule, almost nothing advantage. This is what Vishy was hoping for, some compensation.
Yep.
And if he gets that draw in this game, like he was just seemingly down a pawn, then he at least has a chance. He's not going to necessarily lose. Maybe even he can start thinking about, maybe I might win this game if you play wrong.
Got a dream.
Rook or pawn? Rook or pawn here, right? That's the decision we're facing?
If he recaptures with a rook, let's be clear. I think he's going to recapture with a rook because he does it with a tempo. I do not want to allow queen f3. G3, queen f3 would be... Who invited you to the party? So I'm thinking we have to play the move rook f1. And he captured with the pawn. Commentator's curse. I just said, you got to take
That's
with
on
the rook.
you. Now, I asked the question.
James?
You answered. That wasn't me.
Excuse me.
Please.
Excuse me.
Jump
Two bishops, space, right? Black has two bishops against bishop and knight, particularly the dark squared bishop. Black has space, particularly the dark squared bishop. The dark squared bishop is suddenly awake. And the dark square is around white's king, slightly compromised.
Not slightly compromised.
Right, and only the queen defending at the moment.
Yeah.
And activity, potential activity as well. He's put his knight on c4, has Garry. What? The whole point of this
giving back the pawn.
You're giving back the pawn. That's a serious statement. When Yasser Seirawan said he's giving back the pawn.
Sign of the apocalypse.
I mean, this is a moment where we just have to stop, pause, and respect the moment. Because Yasser Seirawan just said, I'm giving back pawns. Queen c6 now on the board.
By the way, that whole point was you were about to say, if I play b5 and kick the knight, I am playing knight d6. That dark squared bishop looms large when I have the pawn on b3. Put the pawn back on b2, I'm not as terrified. As it is, I'm playing king b2 in the current position and hoping that I'll be able to bring Her Majesty into play with the moves queen e1 and knight d6. What do we have on the board?
King to b2.
These guys are good.
They are pretty good, huh? They are pretty good.
Well, what for broadcast? I get in that shot, James. Okay, Maurice, Vichy's a pawn down. What are you going to do? Are you going to go?
You keep telling me about pawn down. I'm trying to
E6,
get at this king, but I don't have any mechanism that's obvious here.
For me, if I were in Vichy's shoes, I would play bishop e6. Take the knight.
Correct.
Go into a bishops of opposite color position.
He goes a different way.
Instead, and the engine does not like
forces the trade of knight for bishop. Yeah, Garry said, I am not waiting for that bishop on e7 to become great.
Now, Garry's thrilled by these developments.
Oh, definitely.
Now that the queen is in the game,
get to the e-file, right?
Queen, yeah, 100%. Queen e1, queen e7. You can take the pawn on f4. I'm going to win the pawn back with either queen a5 or queen e7. Yes, I could also play g2, g3.
5, no?
But Garry is the player. You know Garry's not going to... He's all about activity and dynamic play. He's looking at queen takes f4, queen e7, and queen takes
You already
a7.
won the pawn back. You don't have to go winning more pawns and give the guy activity. Let's just play your a6.
Yeah, a6.
Keep everything solid.
By the way, a6 is a solid move. Bishop takes b5 is on tap after all.
It's a new position, a new day. You got your pawn back. Time to calm white down, although the engine said you did it the wrong way because that eval bar is saying...
Advantage white.
Advantage, clearly white. That's the thing about getting material back. Sorry, let's make it the other rule. When you are up material, it's a very important concept to realize that you can give it back in order to either stabilize the position or get an advantage. You're a good friend, Yasser. The late, great Victor Korchnoi used to grab pawns all the time because he realized, you're going to be bothering me for a while, but I can give it back at the right moment and destabilize any attack that you have.
Queen takes f4, bit of a surprise for me.
Okay,
but Vichy
so much
is saying,
for Korchnoi.
Yeah, Vichy is saying...
See a pawn, take a pawn.
Let's get into Vichy's mindset for a moment. If I play the move queen e7 and we go back, and if I take this pawn on a7, you could take this pawn on h2.
Why even go back, though?
Sorry, because the rook is hanging. I was going after the rook.
Yep.
It's okay. Going after the rook. That was why we dropped back with the queen to d6. You know what Garry could do is actually, he's played queen e7 as expected. I liked your a6 move, by the way. There was nothing wrong with that. Just finish your thought about Victor Korchnoi.
No, I did. The idea of giving back pawns in queen d6. Now it's Vichy who's giving back a pawn in this position, but he will have that button on b5 and the one on d4 that he will be defending for quite some time. So here,
so we do have queen takes d6, rook takes d6, bishop takes b5. It's a very decent alternative for Garry to consider.
Yes, I'd be actually pretty happy if you take the pawn back this way. I'm a little bit more afraid if you take the pawn on a7.
From the start.
This one.
But this is the problem. You take the pawn on a7, I take the pawn on h2.
Oh, you can have that.
Well, hold on. Don't be so generous with the little guys.
Okay, hold on. You're right.
He is taking
There's the pawn on
a7.
Okay.
He did it.
What about rook e1 or rook f1?
The most
rook
dynamic.
F1
okay. So queen takes h2. Rook f1. Okay, I see you. I see you.
Bishop e6.
Defending the pawn. Maybe on a good day, this is what Vichy wants. He wants a crazy position where he'll have passers, you have runners, and it's a crapshoot.
And who knows what happens?
This whole time, though, b5 is still hanging.
It has been
and then
the
I'm
case.
kind of looking at a 3-0 on the left-hand side.
3 connected pass pawns have been known to be very strong.
And that would be my concern in the long run, right?
Queen takes a7. Well, Garry is basically saying, take my pawn on h2 if you'd like, Vishy. Now, Vishy also has a consideration, not a bad one either, which is to keep his b5 pawn and play the move b4. He could also defend it easily with the move bishop to d7. That looks very sensible. Clock times are 3 to 1.
Bishop to d7 is an interesting idea because all of a sudden, right now the queen has trouble getting back into the game. She's made her way over to grab that pawn, but she gets punished a little bit with no easy pathway.
Yeah, a little stuck, if you will, on the king. You got something first, Maurice? I see you have a big board over here.
Quickly to the big board. Big moment for Vishy. What will he or won't he? This pawn actually on h2 looks poisoned. I didn't see it. The engine has found the crushing move, apparently. Queen to b6. You hit my rook. I can hit yours as well. And how do you play here? You got this pawn. It seems as though this offer of a queen trade makes some sense. The engine even just trades in this position and says, let's go for this endgame. Two connected pass pawns. You haven't established a pass pawn on this side, so this could be problematic. If he takes on h2, we could be seeing Garry cruise.
Bishop to d7. He saw that.
And he saw that. Bishop to d7. Wise move of his.
Good judgment.
Sure.
Big move.
Great judgment, not throwing his queen too far afield. Let's just get solid and keep the position as is.
We do have rook e1, g7, g6 quickly played. Want to catch people up. 3 minutes for Vishy, a minute and a half for Garry. Vishy has been ahead on the clock perpetually throughout the first 2 days of competition, and he hasn't punished Garry for his lack of clock time.
Well, the threat to h2 is off the board, though, now with the g3 push.
I'm putting my pawn on h5 just for goodness sakes. I don't know if I'm threatening h4 or not, but I do know if I do capture any of these pawns, I want a pawn closer to promotion. h7, h5 for me is natural. You got another?
G7 played instead.
Vishy had a different idea.
Get the king off the back rank. It's on a dark square, so now your light squared bishop can never really threaten me.
I don't understand if that king is well placed or misplaced. Give me your pawn. If you play the move bishop f5, and I think that's a very decent move, by the way. You don't take my bishop because I will take on f7, but you do have the in-between Zwischenzug move, rook to d7. Sorry, I forgot about rook to d7. I was thinking...
Rook e4 is on the board.
Okay. Oh, I go rook e7. I apologize. So bishop f5, I get to play rook to e7.
But the engine hates the move.
Hates it?
Hates it because of bishop f5, rook e7, queen f6.
Bishop f5, rook e7, queen f6, and there's a Zwischenzug in the position for you now.
Yeah, you can't.
Right, now I can't take that b5 pawn.
And I can't take on f5 because
of the pawn push.
d3.
And another pawn push after the king moves.
Oh my goodness. Rook e7. No, he
played bishop c6 instead.
Hold on. Sorry, he did not play bishop f. Oh no, he traded.
Oh no.
That helps. That helps Garry.
This is the best
enormously.
Position Garry's had so far right here.
Yeah, no, that helps Garry enormously.
Oh, we're maybe seeing the end of this match.
Oh,
yeah. A reminder: win here for Garry means match is over in terms of the overall scoreline. Will be mathematically impossible for Vishy to catch up to him.
He had bishop back to d7,
which was very
after
strong.
rook e7. He had a fantastic move. Now all he has are weaknesses.
Queen b7 basically says, okay, deal with this. I suppose you have to play bishop c6. Okay, now the tie. Remember when we said the queen was stranded? Now the queen is actually doing some good damage over there. I think that was a huge error, rook d7. I think that just took all the pressure off. All the pressure off the position.
This was the moment. He played bishop c6, the rook went down. He could have put his bishop back to this square. That would have been the money move. Instead, now he is fighting for his life in this position. As you mentioned, queen b6 was played here, and now
he's threatening bishop takes b5.
Yes, Vishy is
on the back foot yet again.
Totally on the back foot in this position.
Oh,
he's played queen d5, the most logical defensive move.
But there is
in the position.
What you really, really want to play as white is bishop c4. So the move a4 instantly gets your attention.
For B4 instead.
So that he can go queen to c5.
H5 in
I wanted that move backwards.
Yeah.
Queen c5 is automatic for me. I would be playing queen c5 with 2 hands and a foot.
Does Garry see the win here, though? Or is
Well,
he
a win
just
is too
seeing,
strong.
or is he
He's
just
seeing-
seeing a very easy draw?
No, he's seeing a big advantage for himself.
Okay.
Now he's trying to cruise to victory, and his clock time, he's got to manage it properly. I'm looking at the move queen c5 for white, offering a favorable trade of queens.
Gary's looking at his clock and shaking his head.
Yeah, 45 seconds to find it. He does
Wow.
find c5.
That move is so natural. A younger Garry Kasparov plays that move with
Instantly and with ease.
So the idea is if you go back with the queen to d7 looks like a very logical move. Not only can I tease you with the move queen e5 check, but I also have a4 and b5. I've got a very powerful pass pawn, and I get to play king a3 as well.
I'm sorry, you had better not trade queens in that position.
No,
You just
that
died.
would be losing.
You had to bring your queen back in that
Only
position.
move.
But Garry now at 37 seconds and ticking, and has now played h4.
H4?
A useful move. And I was about to say, should we encourage the move f6? Vichy said, I need it. It's not whether or not it should be encouraged. I need it. And now, again, a4.
On the board.
And b5. And Garry is...
Oh.
Whoa. Garry was...
A little bit of a flourish to the move, if you will. Keep him guessing.
What was that?
Okay.
So he included king a3 first. I thought he was going to play b5 and king a3. I don't think it makes a difference. By the way, Maurice, b5, b6, queen c7. How do you like them
bad.
apples?
Looks really,
Garry
really
could clinch.
bad.
Garry could clinch if he could force the trade of queens, James. That's what his goal is.
And how interesting. Ooh. I mean, I'm starting to feel like it's a desperation.
It is. Basically what that is he's got a pawn break idea because Vichy feels that if he doesn't do something...
But it's made it much worse.
Queen c7 is a winning threat.
The pawns
it's
go
a
marching
winning
home, yeah.
threat. Right now, if it was white to move, queen c7 would be a game clincher.
What's extraordinary is how the king on a3
So
has
safe.
no worries whatsoever. Once the queen lands on c7, you have no way of creating any angles of attack against that piece. And the threat is clear. How can you get into any kind of endgame where you have some drawing chances?
It has to be a queen move, though, here, right? Because you don't want to trade queens off.
King h6, maybe.
Oh, just avoid the pin first. Yeah.
But I think that this is a winning position. End of story. I think that Garry can clinch the match with the victory in this game. And by the way, he's played a good game.
And the clock
Bishop
are on the other
came
foot,
back
by the
to
way.
c6.
Bishop comes back. Well, blocks.
Well, hold on.
The
I got this crafty
Queen
idea
e5 idea.
of going into the position
There it
that's
is on the
less.
board. Here we go. Garry Kasparov about to win this match with his 4th win.
Overall, across 4
Overall,
days. Yeah,
4th
so it'll be his
win.
4th decisive
But
victory
this
across
will
4
be
days.
worth 3 points.
Yeah,
Queen
the decider.
c7.
Queen
and
c7 is
$3,000
crushing.
in bonus money, and the $70,000 winner's purse, because it will put him mathematically out of reach of Viswanathan Anand.
And there it
He's
is.
done it.
And
There it
he's
is.
got the resignation.
Your champion at Clutch Chess, the Legends, Garry Kasparov, overcomes Viswanathan Anand in Game 10 in Rapid on day number 3.
I'm a little bit stunned because Vichy had such a good position before he played that move night before. I mean, he had worked it up nicely. He'd gotten a position that he could really play for a win, and then move night before it just threw it away.
He also clawed back into the game,
Yeah.
but then at the critical moment when rook e7 landed, he didn't see the bishop
Back
d7.
to d7.
He traded rook. Once the rook trade happened, he had no chance. He had no chance, and Garry has to be so proud and happy and elated.
He is. He wins the bathrooms.
He's constantly on the move.
Yeah,
Man
yeah.
doesn't stop.
Where are my car keys?
And, yeah, and it comes, interesting to me is it comes all the way back to the idea of material and when to give it back. He wins this game down a point of material, when for so long we were talking about...
What is he doing?
It being the other way.
He's getting lost. Oh, he was looking for the snack bar. He was going to the wrong way.
Your 2025 Clutch Chess, the Legends champion, Garry Kasparov, $70,000 going his way. Plus all of the bonus money that he's accumulated so far. $5,000 already in his pocket, another $3,000 with that decisive victory there. Still plenty to play for, though, here on the final day. 2 money matches to come in games 11 and 12. Thought from each of you here, though, as we do crown a champion in our first Clutch Chess, the Legends.
You won the match. I want to win the Blitz games. That's what I'm thinking about Vishy.
That is his only consolation now. Otherwise, we would stop this match. I have to say, October 10th, 1995, is when Garry drew a game to clinch his match, his World Championship match, against one Viswanathan Anand atop the then World Trade Center when they played. That was 30 years ago today. He clinches this match again 30 years later to the day.
Quite the irony.
Winning's not enough. You got to play some more chess.
Hey, the Blitz games are worth a lot of money, and Garry is looking at the position and saying, you know what? I got outplayed this last game. I don't want that to happen again.
And this is the good thing about Clutch Chess. Even though the player has won the match, 11 and 12 still has so much riding on them that they have to focus. They have to refocus, get the job done, because you still got more to do to get to the finish line.
Right, overall results decided, but things are just heating up here on the third and final day. We're going to take a quick break, but as we go, we are lucky enough to be able to share some of the clips from that 1995 Intel World Champion Chess documentary, produced by the 9-time Emmy Award-winning Cohen Media. For the entire documentary, you can find the full playlist on Robert Cohen's YouTube channel. We're going to head to that quick break. We'll be right back on the other side to see if Viswanathan and Anand can come back and grab some money. Meanwhile, Yasser had a chance to tour the new St. Louis Chess Club. Enjoy, and we'll be right back.
He just played his king down to f8, and the crowd now in anticipation of this finish soon to come, and Kasparov moving his king up to the e6 square.
Very important bringing the king into the game, because the king can support the black pawn when it comes down the board. You notice Anand there pushing his pawn a square closer to the queening square, but Kasparov bringing his rook across to cover.
And now Anand getting out of the way, moving his king to g8, and Kasparov playing the move d4, and Anand got a queen. He got his pawn down to the other side and got a queen.
Kasparov has it covered. He just took the queen with his rook. He's given up the rook, so now Anand has king and rook against 2 pawns. But Kasparov's pawn is so far advanced down the board that he can draw this game to give up his rook for the pawn.
And Anand giving Kasparov a smile there, and Kasparov returning it. And with nothing left to play for on the board, the pawn on d3, too dangerous. Anand captured the pawn. And after king takes rook, only the 2 kings would be remaining. An obvious draw.
How does it feel going to clinch the title?
You know, it's not the first title, it's not the second title, it's not even the third title, but I feel very, very happy. This, this match was very difficult, and I feel I did a very good job, and I feel extremely good. And also, I didn't play a proper World Championship match for 5 years at least.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the St. Louis Chess Club, or should I say the new St. Louis Chess Club. This used to be the entrance right behind me, but since the Chess Club has taken over the entirety of the building and has renovated a beautiful building, come take a look with me. Coming into the chess club. Wow, look. What a surprise. Exactly. Very, very, very helpful staff. As we are in the lobby welcoming the players, let's walk through. Hi. We got a beautiful entrance going on. We have an elevator that we just passed. So many, many rooms that we are preparing. Of course, the St. Louis Chess Club is all about presenting grandmasters, lectures, and the like. So we have this beautifully newly built lecture hall, as you can see. Pictures of grandmasters all on the wall. A lot of illustrious grandmasters are going to be giving autographs, and this is how this goes. Let me show you some more things in the chess club. I feel like this is the stairway of fame, and I'm not kidding, because it's this very stairway that all the U.S. chess champions have ever ascended and played here in the St. Louis Chess Club. We have more tournament halls and more tournament spaces. You guys are ruining my shoot. Will you stop following? Will you please stop following me around? Okay. As we see, we keep coming through. These people always hogging my cameras. I tell you, it's terrible. More tournament halls. The renovation of the chess club. It's taken us 4 years to get here. And I tell you, we couldn't be more proud of what we've managed to achieve. When you come into the St. Louis Chess Club and you sit at these beautiful chess tables with pads for your elbows and these beautiful walnut boards, and you think to yourself, you know what? I want to be here. I want to play in the championships that the club does. And I want to be a part of the journey of the St. Louis Chess Club. You're going to want to come, and you're going to want to stay, and you're going to want to play.
Two legendary world champions, Garry Kasparov and Viswanathan Anand, will do battle once again in Clutch Chess, The Legends, a special exhibition match celebrating their incredible legacies. Kasparov, a chess icon who held the title for 15 consecutive years, and Anand, a 5-time world champion, will compete in an epic Chess 960 match with $144,000 in prizes on the line. Catch this unique moment in chess history live from the new state-of-the-art facility at the St. Louis Chess Club. It's an unforgettable event you won't want to miss.
America's top chess players are set to compete in the most prestigious national championship in the world, the 2025 U.S. Chess Championship and the 2025 U.S. Women's Chess Championship, hosted by the newly expanded St. Louis Chess Club. Defending champions Fabiano Caruana and Carissa Yip will lead an illustrious field from October 12th through 25th, with a total prize fund of more than $400,000 on the line. Don't miss chess history in the making.
Clutch Chess Champion Showdown is here, and 4 superstars take the stage. World number 1, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano Caruana, and reigning world champion Gukesh Damaraju. With more than $400,000 on the line, daily win bonuses, escalating point values, and the one-of-a-kind Champions Jackpot, every game could change everything. It all unfolds October 27th through 29th, live from the brand new playing halls of the St. Louis Chess Club. Don't miss a moment of chess history in the making.
By now, you guys probably know there's a lot to see and do in St. Louis. But when it comes to the art scene, there's more here than meets the eye. From Laumeier Sculpture Park and the City Garden to the stunning Cathedral Basilica, one of the largest mosaic collections in the entire world. So if art is your thing, St. Louis is on display all year long. Ooh, now that's an exhibit. St. Lou is always exploring.
Hi, my name is Brian Woods. I am the music director for classical programming at the World Chess Hall of Fame and Galleries. It is a monthly series that we put on featuring performers from the St. Louis Symphony, from Opera Theater St. Louis, Winter Opera, and some of the finest freelancers we have here in the St. Louis area. Every live performance is completely different. So when you come to a concert here at the World Chess Hall of Fame, you can expect infinite possibilities all within this rubric of music.
champs, welcome to our show. Go, go, go. That's our show. Now go plan yours at visitmo.com.
When you visit St. Louis, you'll probably want to watch the Cardinals or the Blues. What about after the game? Heading back to the hotel would be a major error. Instead, boogie through the city and discover the music that gave the Blues their name at the National Blues Museum, Broadway Oyster Bar, or even the legendary Blueberry Hill. So whether you love the Cardinals, the Blues, or the Blues, come play with us. And you guys know I can't play this, right? St. Lou is always exploring.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Brian Owens, Music Director and Creative Resident for the World Chess Hall of Fame, and I just want to invite you to come out to just a great musical experience. The culture here at World Chess Hall of Fame around our music series has been growing. Audiences can expect an array of genre, everything from pop and soul to R&B and country, and I really love that because it's just indicative of the creative and cultural excellence that we have here at the World Chess Hall of Fame. We want you to come out and experience it with us, and make sure you get your tickets because by next year, may be sold out. So come on down, everybody.
We all know St. Louis is a championship sports town, from the 11-time world champion Cardinals to the Stanley Cup champion Blues. But I bet you didn't know about all the championship places there are to get out and play here, like the World Chess Hall of Fame, Westport Social, and Topgolf, and now even our own MLS team. So whatever sports your team is into, you can always bring out your A game in St. Louis. Oops. Sorry, St. Lou is always exploring.
We're the Corey family. Welcome to our show.
We made it, guys! Yeah!
There's my boy, look at that kid! You guys gotta see this. That's our show.
Now go start yours at visitmo.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the St. Louis Chess Club for Clutch Chess The Legends, where an overall winner has been determined. With our scoreline, Garry Kasparov taking a decisive victory in our last rapid match over the course of 3 days means 3 points gets added to his overall total, up to 13, and now out of reach of the 5 points there for Vishy Anand. You can see as well his bonus money has crept up to $8K with another $3,000 for that victory. But still 2 more to play. Garry is our champion, 2025 at Clutch Chess, the Legends champion, taking home the $70,000 purse, plus the $8,000 he's already garnered, and maybe some more to come. Let's take a look at the current bonus money and how things have shaken out. As we mentioned, $8,000 already goes his way. But what's at stake in the final 2 games of the day as it ticks up? Game 11 here and Game 12 each have $8,000 apiece.
Let's explain that bonus for a moment.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at it. For those of you who maybe weren't tuning in for the earlier portions of the tournament, all draws had their bonus money rolled over into games 11 and 12. We're calling these the jackpot blitz games, if you will. So game 11, we've got that money on the line. If game 11 ends in a draw, don't worry. The bonus money doesn't go into the ether. It ports right on over to game number 12, where we'll be playing for all the marbles.
Nice. So there is still a lot for Vishy to play for. And some consolation would be to win a game, Maurice.
Exactly. He's played 10 games so far. He's lost 4. He's not won a single game. He's got 2 more to go. I can tell you, when you're playing chess tournaments, the way you close the tournament, no matter how you did, matters so much. Everyone knows it's so good to win the last game. No matter if it's the exact same score, it's so good to win that last game to say, okay, I came out, you know, I'm resilient.
Right.
I'm a comeback artist. But if you lose the last game,
that sticks in your craw. No.
So it's important that he does well in these last 2 games.
Right. You know, I think he's got to switch it up. I think this whole B3 didn't work for him in games 1 and 2. Go C4, be the English player. C4, knight C3, go for D4. We saw in that previous game when Vichy went C5 and D5 and D4, E5, he held the advantage.
Yes.
He did hold the advantage. So I would say, let's do it. Vichy, C4, D4, get back into your rhythm.
I'm hoping he feels a little bit of a freedom.
Yeah.
That comes with the overall match being over. Again,
That stress is
you know
gone.
what I mean? Yeah,
The
that
stress
stress
is
is
gone.
behind you, so have a little bit more fun. We've called into question a few moves here and there as being more tepid when he could have reached for something a little bit more. But maybe now is the time when he'll actually give himself that permission to reach for something that's a little bit more aggressive.
I'm loving this right here, and it just shows what a tiger is all about. Sorry, I already ate all the food. I want more food. And I know these two games matter based on the rules. I know that there's substantial money at stake. Look, Garry's a multimillionaire. He doesn't absolutely have to win this extra change. But it's 2 games on the line, still to play. Maybe he's going to give it to charity. We don't know what he's going to do with that extra cash, but he knows the competition is here. He wants to close this match out in style.
He's a competitor, and he's a maximalist at that. And I still remember when he played against the entire Czech Olympic team, and he won the match. And the last game was a draw. And the first thing he said to me as he came off the stage is, did I miss my chance? Shouldn't I? I could have won that game.
This is
an assignment.
Played a simul against
the whole Olympic team. And he's going for the maximum all the time.
Not 10 minutes ago, this man left the board, clutch chess champion, and went straight to another board to evaluate the position from the opposite side, knowing that there's 2 more games coming and knowing how much he still wants to take them.
Exactly, and they are jackpot blitz games. Big bonus money on the line in these 2 games coming up.
I love this. This is why we so adore Garry Kasparov and why he was the GOAT back in the day. Magnus is the GOAT now, recognized for sure, but this guy, he used to walk into a tournament and people said, who's coming in second?
He ruled the chess world.
Exactly.
He ruled the chess world.
And that intensity that he has at the board. You got to imagine him 30 years younger. And we were playing a game once, and he made a move against me, and he just screwed that pawn into the square and pounded the clock, and it was a blunder. It was a blunder. And there was this huge camera. It was a Swedish television was showing the game live, and I wanted to get up from my board, go all the way around the table, come to him and give him a little kiss on the cheek. Thank you for making that move, Garry.
That's good TV right there.
I didn't do it.
Well,
I didn't do it. I didn't know what the FIDE rules said about it. I told him afterwards. And he said, you should have. I deserve it. That was a terrible move.
That's akin to what he said in the interview just the other day. He should have been punished for some of the tough situations he's found himself in. And I'll remind everybody that as we switch things up and we go into 5-3 Blitz, it was those Blitz games where Garry went down a full piece on day 1 and still managed to recover quite luckily. We'll see if he can, avoid a slip-up like that this time around. You asked for C4,
I did. And knight C3, and let's go. Knight C3, let's go.
Good work, my friend.
Yeah.
Figuring out what he really needed to do is just play more classically.
Okay. Knight G3, I can live with that. But I thought knight C3 was kind of begging. By the way, with this move, knight, it's a strange way of protecting the E4 square, right? Because the knight, when you develop the knight, you're not playing E2, E4 as a follow-up to knight G3.
It's funny. We see that happen when the knight goes from G1 to E2.
Yes.
Right? Take this path.
Yes.
You've seen that, I'm thinking, Samish
Bishop
territory,
yes.
King's Indian type things.
Bishop B7. So let's go. Knight C3,
so
let's
knight
go.
C3. But the thing about knight C3 is we're in Nimzo Indian territory.
Yeah, but
Little
okay.
Knight
C3.
on the knight.
By the way, he's really intent. That previous game taught him that Garry is vulnerable to a central clamp, and he's going for it right away. Move F2, F3, the prelude to E2, E4. And if you get this big wedge, sweet.
By the way, though, the engine really wanted your move,
Knight C3.
there.
I did
Following
too.
the bishop coming out, it was already giving near A 1 point advantage if knight
Significant
c3
edge.
were to find its way onto the board.
And Garry is starting to realize that that whole diagonal battery business is now biting on granite. That f3 pawn is well defended.
You know, forced to play blitz, Vishy, now with no chance of winning, like we said, hey, the pressure is gone, I've accepted a loss. Now it's my turn to sort of just pinch some air out of the balloon. You might feel some more fluidity and freedom in his play. Don't be surprised if he plays his best game yet.
I will not.
Like, this would not be very surprising. And Garry, knowing he's got to get his energy together,
Garry
even though he's already won.
No. Garry knows he's in big trouble. That move f5 is just it's wrong on many levels. First of all, this bishop g5. How are you going to handle bishop g5? Like, just think about it. Do you want to move your rook?
Yeah. Well,
no.
I just have to block my own bishop, right?
You have to, and then you lose castling privileges, and your king is in the middle of the board. So f5 is just a terrible.
Play knight c3
knight
instead.
c3. Okay, not unhappy. Vishy wants to clamp down with d5 and e4. But that
now
move,
you have
bishop
to go bishop e7.
No, but look, but
now you got to go bishop to g5.
Whoa, he played
Come on.
What?
No. He's missed a golden opportunity to really take the game. Oh, that was a bad move. If you don't mind, I just have to show you the whole concept of what I was thinking. Bishop g5, rook e8, e4, take it. Oops, sorry, please, take it, please. Bishop takes e4, yep. Bishop e2. Now I want to castle kingside. I want to take on e4. I want to hit you with bishop check. Your king is stuck in the center. Oh.
Did you just hang g2 in that position, or is this because
that was part of that was a part of go?
Turn into Mikhail Tal. You're sacking everything there.
Hey, it's my inner child.
But Vishy, again, all right, we were hoping for freedom and liberation.
He's got it still.
But he just played two very quiet moves.
Tepid, I agree. But he's still got queen b1, and he's got e4 on his agenda eventually. I would have liked him to play it immediately, but no, he did not.
Isn't this the same-ish?
It's the same-ish.
Nimzo Indian?
Yeah, it is.
This formation is exactly that.
It is.
And I mean, it's just exactly that. Giving up the dark square bishop, everything about it. And usually black tries to get some counterplay against his c4 pawn by organizing multiple attacks with a bishop on a6 and a knight here and here. Right. And also, this knight is often on f6 when it's trying to drop back to here in that opening. So we have some differences, but both of them know that position. And now Vishy trying to get to that position somehow. But I got to say, black, don't give black a couple of moves because the counterplay will be real before your e4 move becomes a thing. So you've got to go for the juice.
Garry has done something incredibly provocative that I would not have expected him to. He's allowed the move d5. I want to trade my double pawns for the f pawn and the e pawn. For example, if you go like this, not that you want to do this, but if you did, this is what I have in mind, to take this pawn and get rid of your f5 pawn. None of this happened.
He played f4.
Vishy played f4.
I know, while you were talking, I was going, did f4 just land on the board? Given that e4 is the most substantive plan in the position, f4 means e4 will be very difficult to execute. He continues to play in this sort of restrained positional style.
I did not expect that because the f pawn on f3 was shutting down the bishop.
And now he has played d5.
Now I don't like it. It's not the same business. There's knight h4. Yeah, you could take that.
Whoa, Garry took.
Garry takes.
Garry took and allowed bishop takes.
Okay, that I didn't expect.
All right, the game
I'm confused.
So what, I mean, a minute 30 on the clock as well, by the way.
I am confused. Bishop e6 check. Oh.
Okay, that break that Vishy executed with d5.
It's an interesting pawn sacrifice, isn't it?
Giving a little bit of energy to his pieces for sure. He still doesn't have a ton of forces over in the sector, but at least that diagonal control.
The queen is off sides too
Yes.
on a8. Normally that queen would be in the center of the board on d8 or e7.
And by the way, how do you defend the knight?
I think you got to give it.
You just have to give up a pawn.
I think it's time to bring the queen back into the game and say rook d e8, and yeah, you can take twice on g6. I'll give you that so that I can get my queen into the game.
And done.
So Vishy wins his pawn back, but Garry takes some of the sting out of the attack with the move queen d8, and he's done it.
We also have an opposite colored bishop position where the bishop on c1, this bishop, wishes it were firmly ensconced here, but it's not going to be a useful place for that piece. He's now played knight up to h5.
With a very nice threat of maiden 1. We always like those queen takes g7, maiden 1. It stops queen f6 as well, and it sets up f5.
But it's only
F6.
2 pieces, though.
Well, f5, f6.
But f5, anytime you play f5, I get the e5 square for my knight. And
hey, man,
I'm not sure I'm scared of this attack. Queen,
don't rain on my parade.
e7 on the board. I need
F5,
more
let's go.
pieces. You know, we are attackers. We need to have a rook here somewhere, the other rook over here. Could we make these kind of moves, please?
Vishy's finding his inner...
f5 on the board, queen e7, suggesting
queen
a trade.
Queen g5. I don't
Why did he play
want
knight
trade.
e5? I don't know why he didn't play knight e5.
He would have dropped back with his queen to g3. But he wants to play f6. He's begging Garry, let me get in. Garry just went and twisted the rook in.
And now rook d4.
Okay, he's getting some pieces over.
This is what I'm talking about, bringing rooks over into the sector. Queen e7, offering a trade.
Oh, that was nice by Garry. He's offering a trade when I can't play f6.
But
can I
queen
play
g6
f6?
now? But can't we just play queen, just avoid the queen trade?
Yeah.
And then drop the queen back some other way when the
Hold on.
time comes?
f6, rook takes, g5 takes on e7. There's nothing there.
Why trade queens? Sorry.
No, I'm saying
f6 is what you want.
f6.
And takes?
Take on the queen. Threatening.
Yes.
A rook.
Or I could have traded rooks and played king f7, no?
Yes.
Let's go
That's
back
a good move.
I
That
could've-
is a good move. I
Let's
was thinking I was
go
trying to get
here.
my...
I could have done this.
That's check.
Check
with check.
here.
And
this
king
move,
f7.
And then nothing's there.
Nothing there. Sorry.
I say keep.
That's very nice.
Keep the queens on the board. Move your queen. The only problem with queen g6, played
Move the
queen f7, and now drop the queen back. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So
what did he do? Board, queen moves to g6.
Let me let's refresh the board so we can see what's going
on.
on.
Okay, they've made a few moves at this point. Queen to g6. We had the black queen move over to f7. Queen drops back.
And bishop drop back to c8.
Let's have the discussion, please. Remember I talked about moving the rook over and over? Just if we could just do a little knight action, but it takes two moves. This is what Vishy's after, and Vishy could. Whoa, c5.
What is that move?
Well, he's in time trouble. He's got 19 seconds to work with.
Uh-oh. Well,
to 227.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this attack gathering real impetus. Rook f3 to g3, and Maurice nailed that
Put the
pawn
rook on the lift.
g7.
Let's go. Elevate it.
The only thing to think about is the move d4, but I don't think it lands with too much potency. The problem is your back rank. It's just a small problem when you bring the rook up, and he has changed his mind.
Wow.
Queen g5.
But wait, with the two rooks, this works now.
Now
this works now. He finds f6, he wins the game.
f6.
That's
F6 is a killer.
the difference.
Yes, because now
I
the two rooks are
wanted that
doubled.
previously, but now it works perfectly.
Well, he's got 1 minute and 45 to find it.
Yes,
and
we are.
Vishy sees it. Vishy sees it. Trust
Vishy's
me.
looking at it.
Vishy sees it for sure.
Look at him getting closer. You see that?
Yeah.
He got closer. He can actually pull off this one.
He sees $8,000.
Yeah, that's the tiger. Yeah,
Bang,
that's the
move is
tiger.
on the board.
That's an $8,000 pawn move right there.
And
Garry just traded
with
up and
check.
promoted.
Oh.
Viswanathan Anand, he gets his first decisive victory of our 12-game match
during the jackpot.
Clutch Chess, the legend. Jackpot Blitz game.
Jackpot.
$8,000 goes his way, and we've got one more Blitz game to come. What a showing. Maurice, I want final thoughts from you, because then we're sending you downtown so you can be around as that 12th and final game concludes.
I gotta tell you, I'm happy for Vishy that he finally did win one game. That was important. A little too late. The drama would have been still in the match, but hey, better late than never. At least he can feel like I did something.
Right.
I didn't get blanked because, you know, when you
That
get
was
beat
scary.
5-0 like that, they said we have your ownership papers.
Right.
At least he wasn't
Adoption.
Adoption, that's it, the adoption papers. At least he wasn't adopted by Garry, but there it is.
All right, Maurice Ashley, we got to send you on your way. It's a pleasure, as always, to be along your side,
Right.
presenting some of the best chess the world has to offer. We'll get you, though, over there safely.
I want to say one last
word.
word. Thanks so much for joining us in the broadcast, James. It's been a real pleasure working with you. I can't wait for us to get together again for Champion Showdown just a couple of weeks from now.
That's right. October
You
27th.
notice he
Thank you, my
talked.
friend.
The pleasure is mine.
You notice he talked right past me.
Yeah, well, you guys are well
I love
acquainted
you guys.
with each
I'm outta
other.
here.
He'll be on his way. Myself and Yasser are going to bring you through the remainder of the action. We've got one more Blitz game heading your way,
Yeah.
but this is what we wanted. We wanted a freer Vishy Anand.
Yeah.
And it feels like
Beautiful.
that freedom there,
Yeah.
it was everything he needed.
The pressure was off his shoulders. He could just play his natural game. And by the way, that was a good game. Even Garry at the end had to let out a little smile as he recognized he just simply got outplayed at last. It took 10 games.
It took
was
10.
11.
Now it's game 11. Right
By the
there.
way, that jackpot Blitz coming up, last and remaining game.
I mean, he already has $50,000 as runner-up. That's another $8,000. He in that moment, he matches the bonus money that Garry had accumulated across all previous 10 matches. Now
Right.
$8,000 a piece of bonus money with $8,000 still in play. I mean, if he wins the next one, he goes home with $66K.
It was a useful match.
Nothing to sneeze at.
No, but 3 very, very enjoyable games. And we wanted to see a competitive match. Guess what? That's what we got at the very end.
But now it's about what happens in game number 4. They're going to switch sides of the board. Garry goes to white. Vishy will be on the black side of the board for the final game of the day. I think most of us are just hoping for a good one, a competitive one. But if Vishy is going to do it from the black side of the board, does black have the same opportunities in this position to come up with something like that as white does?
Absolutely. I think it's a dynamic position. Quick question for you, though, James.
Okay, hit me.
We've been talking about rollover money. There's no rolling over in Game 12. What happens what happens to that bonus money?
That's a really good question.
We're some hardworking.
What happens if there's a draw?
Hardworking
I think
commentators.
you and I play for it.
Yeah.
No, not so much. We're not going to tell you just yet, but don't worry. We do have a plan and something in store in case there's a draw in the 12th and final game. I'm hoping for fireworks, though, and I'm sure everybody at home is hoping for fireworks as well. We're going to head to a quick break while the players take a moment before resetting for our 12th and final game. And pretty soon we'll get you right back here to the St. Louis Chess Club to watch Clutch Chess, the Legends, conclude. See you in just a bit.
Two legendary world champions, Garry Kasparov and Viswanathan Anand, will do battle once again in Clutch Chess, the Legends, a special exhibition match celebrating their incredible legacies. Kasparov, a chess icon who held the title for 15 consecutive years, and Anand, a 5-time world champion, will compete in an epic Chess 960 match with $144,000 in prizes on the line. Catch this unique moment in chess history live from the new state-of-the-art facility at the St. Louis Chess Club. It's an unforgettable event you won't want to miss.
America's top chess players are set to compete in the most prestigious national championship in the world, the 2025 U.S. Chess Championship and the 2025 U.S. Women's Chess Championship, hosted by the newly expanded St. Louis Chess Club. Defending champions Fabiano Caruana and Carissa Yip will lead an illustrious field from October 12th through 25th, with a total prize fund of more than $400,000 on the line. Don't miss chess history in the making.
Clutch Chess Champion Showdown is here, and 4 superstars take the stage. World number 1, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano Caruana, and reigning world champion Gukesh Damaraju. With more than $400,000 on the line, daily win bonuses, escalating point values, and the one-of-a-kind Champions Jackpot, every game could change everything. It all unfolds October 27th through 29th, live from the brand new playing halls of the St. Louis Chess Club. Don't miss a moment of chess history in the making.
By now, you guys probably know there's a lot to see and do in St. Louis. But when it comes to the art scene, there's more here than meets the eye. From Laumeier Sculpture Park and the City Garden to the stunning Cathedral Basilica, one of the largest mosaic collections in the entire world. So if art is your thing, St. Louis is on display all year long. Ooh, now that's an exhibit. St. Lou is always exploring.
Hi, my name is Brian Woods. I am the music director for classical programming at the World Chess Hall of Fame and Galleries. It is a monthly series that we put on featuring performers from the St. Louis Symphony, from Opera Theater St. Louis, Winter Opera, and some of the finest freelancers we have here in the St. Louis area. Every live performance is completely different. So when you come to a concert here at the World Chess Hall of Fame, you can expect infinite possibilities all within this rubric of music.
We're the Manos. Welcome to our show. Go, go, go. That's our show. Now go plan yours at visitmo.com.
When you visit St. Louis, you'll probably want to watch the Cardinals or the Blues. What about after the game? Heading back to the hotel would be a major error. Instead, boogie through the city and discover the music that gave the Blues their name at the National Blues Museum, Broadway Oyster Bar, or even the legendary Blueberry Hill. So whether you love the Cardinals, the Blues, or the Blues, come play with us. Hey, you guys know I can't play this, right? St. Lou is always exploring.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Brian Owens, music director and creative resident for the World Chess Hall of Fame, and I just want to invite you to come out to just a great musical experience. The culture here at World Chess Hall of Fame around our music series has been growing. Audiences can expect an array of genre, everything from pop and soul to R&B and country, and I really love that because it's just indicative of the creative and cultural excellence that we have here at the World Chess Hall of Fame. We want you to come out and experience it with us, and make sure you get your tickets because by next year, may be sold out. So come on down, everybody.
We all know St. Louis is a championship sports town, from the 11-time world champion Cardinals to the Stanley Cup champion Blues. But I bet you didn't know about all the championship places there are to get out and play here, like the World Chess Hall of Fame, Westport Social, and Topgolf, and now even our own MLS team. So whatever sports your team is into, you can always bring out your A game in St. Louis. Oops. Sorry, St. Lou is always exploring.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the St. Louis Chess Club for the final game of Clutch Chess The Legends between Garry Kasparov and Viswanathan Anand. Anand, in our first of the two Blitz games today, gets his first decisive victory of the entire tournament and pulls in a cool $8,000 to match that $8,000 of bonus money over there that Garry Kasparov had already built up.
Now, Gary's won the match, so he's getting the 70, but another 8,000 up for grabs.
Still very much in play. So yes, mathematically, with only 3 points in play for this final Blitz 2 game of the day, you won't be able to see Viswanathan overcome Garry in the overall standings. But like you mentioned, that $8,000 he just picked up is matched here in the 12th and final game. And it feels like we've finally saw the Vishy that we were asking for throughout the tournament this entire time.
Yeah, exactly. I think the tournament score has been very complimentary of Garry, that Garry won some points that he didn't deserve, like that, especially when Vishy just let his clock run out in a winning position. Turn that result around, we got a totally different result that we're looking at. This would be the decisive game for the whole match and everything. But that's not the case. Nope. Gary's won the match, and now Vishy can play freely for the jackpot.
There you go. Fight for the jackpot. And if you've been enjoying Clutch Chess, don't worry. We've got much more Clutch Chess action coming your way later this month. Take a look at this. October 27th, to the 29th. Some of the biggest names in chess, modern chess.
The
that is
biggest
the
name.
biggest. You're right, not some of. It is all of the biggest names in
Who's
modern
missing?
chess. Ricardo Nakamura, Magnus Carlsen, the world champion in Gukesh, and Fabiano Caruana will be taking on each other in the Champion Showdown.
Absolutely. What an event that is. And what a way to open up October and the renovated chess club.
I mean, it's pretty much, yeah, the whole month is packed from start to finish. All right, let's take a look at how the bonus money broke down throughout the week, and we'll continue to break down, because if Game 12 is a draw, this is the question you were asking me before we went to the break.
Hold on.
Don't worry. If it's
I
a
have
draw,
a plan.
You have a plan?
Yeah, that $8,000 gets rolled over to our hard-walking commentary team.
It'll find its way into your wallet, so you can hold it until the 27th, where it'll be promptly removed from your wallet, and it'll be rolled into the Clutch Chess Champions Showdown prize purse.
Well, that's the passing of the torch, if I've ever heard it.
From one generation to the next.
Exactly.
Although I think if either of these two guys have anything to say about it, that money's not making it to October 27th. It's going into one of our wallets here.
So $8,000 could be claimed by one of these two gladiators, but in case of a draw, they will pass it along to the next generation of players.
There you have it.
Sweet.
It's a pretty poetic and beautiful way.
Yeah, I like it.
For it all to play out. So here we have Garry once again finds himself at the board.
I think he was just smarting from that last game, because that move F6 was delectable.
It really was.
It was a beautiful move, just perfectly timed, and Vichy won his first game of the match.
And unlikely he's going to find that same F6 move for himself, this time playing with the white pieces. So
look at that intensity.
You had a little Nosferatu moment. You called out the C4, move one on Vichy's side. What are you thinking here for Garry?
I think, well, Garry was one of those players who absolutely, totally believed in himself and his opening. So when he's playing B3 once, twice, I would expect him to keep and stay true to himself. But he has to admit results. That last game where Vichy went C4, D4 and played for E4, that speaks for itself. Maybe it is time to play E4 or D4 and play for center control right out of the opening. I do have to say this, though. They're missing some tactics that are unique to Fischer Random. That move E2, E3 by Vichy in the previous Blitz game, overlooking Bishop G5, no. That was not good. That was not good at all. And Fischer Random has its own unique tactics that do allow for tricks out of the opening, and the players aren't sensitive enough to them. They don't play enough chess actively. And okay, this is it. Big jackpot.
The final opening handshake has already taken place. The players are in their seats. The clock will start
it, and there you go.
And there you have it.
I mean, you know, he is true to himself. He believes in his opening.
But this is a different response to that
yeah,
B3
he was
move.
playing F4 before. And
we also saw symmetry in game one. It was the initial symmetry of B3, B6, but now that won't be the case this time around.
I love what Vichy has done. I like the move Knight C6, inviting the whole Bishop B4 complex that we saw previous.
It's kind of like he's going for the same setup, just with
exactly.
black.
Yeah, they repeat it, and F7, F6. I love what he's done. Now, if Garry dares reach for his F-pawn to get a similar position, then the move Bishop G4. I'm sure this time Vichy is not going to let that opportunity go away. Obviously, he's telegraphing his move. He wants to play D4 and wants what we would call a big center. Pawns abreast, C5, D5, E5. Taking all of the spaces for the pieces. And Garry knows it, and Garry's sitting up and saying, how am I going to combat this different approach from Vichy?
Well, then we look at pawn breaks, right? How do I disrupt that center? I'm thinking we're looking at D4, yeah?
Yeah, D4. That's a move. But when you played the move Bishop to B5 a moment ago, he's looking at doubling up the pawns, right? And then when you play the move D4, which I think is a very decent move, by the way, it's a good move, you're undoubling the pawns. You just countered what you just did, which was to, but I like the move D4. I would say C4 also. And look at this. Vichy, you got to play bishop g4. Bishop g4, Vichy, you got to do it. Come on.
Garry is inviting it in this case.
Because there is not a good way of meeting the bishop coming out.
He doesn't go for it.
And knight f2 is an automatic now.
And now you don't have time.
Now you don't have time. You missed it. It was there for just that ever so brief a moment, and he's gone back to what he just did, which is e6, bishop e3, castles, and he eventually got in e5. Remember, we had those doubled pawns. Now, previously, Garry took and played d3 and knight d2 and got himself in a world of hurt. Let's see if he can do something else.
Knight out to c3 here. Quick response from Vichy.
Said, look, if you're not going to double up my pawns,
I'll replace my knight with a bishop.
Happily. So bishop d7. Clock times, not too surprisingly, Garry's behind.
I was going to say, following the norm, the pattern of this matchup, of this pairing, if you will, well, yes, you'd always take the 437 over the 310 on the other side.
Now, I'm very, very happy as black here playing the move bishop d6. In the previous game, you noticed that Vichy first played bishop e2 and then bishop d3. I think he should have just spanked it on the d6 square.
Wow,
okay.
F5. I was wondering about starting to send the g-pawn. We were having that discussion earlier. I think it was game 2.
Right.
Maurice was really looking at the g4, g5 ideas, but he says, I'm not going to waste the time.
I don't like this move at all. I really, really don't. So you just played knight takes d5, and you're threatening the fork. Ooh, he castled. How intriguing. You're just threatening the fork. I thought we were going to see queen to b8, attacking the h2 pawn, notice, while defending the pawn on while defending the pawn, the c7 square. He's played it, but a move later. He's committed himself to castling kingside.
And now both players have committed their kings as well.
Now, again, I think it's this queen and bishop. I think it's time to neutralize that by just playing bishop to d6, the bishop to e5. Maybe something to be said for knight. I also see a potential post-up on the f3 square because that's a weak square. A lot of strategies here for both players, and the most natural move was bishop d6. Vichy just played it.
Right. This is what you were asking for.
And again, 4 minutes for Vichy, less than 3 minutes for Garry, and the clock times have been key.
They've been key. Without a doubt, we've seen games end as a result of time.
What else to say?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we've seen the impact that the time can have very clearly at this event.
Yes.
But neither player worse for wear so far in this position. I'm wondering how scared am I about the bishop and the knight sitting on the 5th rank? They do feel like they're kind of choking me out. A little bit. I'm a little uncomfortable with how much space they have.
Normally, you do want to trade the advanced pieces, and in this case, the bishop on b5, the knight on d5.
So I would bring that knight to e7 and try
knight e7 is a good move. Either knight to e7, but I don't think it's one of those positions where you really need to panic. Like those pieces are not coordinating an attack, and ooh. Move d4. Okay, that changes a lot. I was about to say I would prefer to play the move knight e5 and look for my own counter chance. Garry said, let me just cut that out.
Cut you off at the pass.
Before you could even think about making attack. But the problem with the move is it's left the e3 pawn on the open file a little bit vulnerable. Good move by Vichy. And now it's time to get rid of this defender.
Right.
I'm thinking knight on g6 to e7, or even potentially knight on c6 to e7 to force the trades of those advanced pieces.
Right.
Knight b4, similar idea, just a different approach by Vichy.
Going forward to achieve the same thing.
Forcing trades. And Garry said, okay, let me trade that one.
Bishops first.
But again, that rook is eyeballing that backward pawn on e3.
Right. Only protected by the knight currently.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so pawn
So
trade. Got to
we're
capture
antici-
back with the bishop, of course.
We're anticipating bishop takes. There's something, the black king could be pulled out of its lair. Bishop takes c5, knight take, so bishop takes c5, knight takes b4.
Yeah.
You probably
You gotta
have to
take with
play
check
on
then.
check.
Right.
Rook takes, and then the bishop takes on b4. Lots of trades. I don't know who's better off at the end of that. That's a judgment call.
Might be too involved a question for a 5-minute
Please.
game. But what is your approach to evaluating the order of operations of a trade? When you have all these different opportunities for which piece can take which piece in move order, essentially, is it just a pick one and start working down that line of logic, and then pick another one, work down that line of logic until you find the one that feels the best to you? Or do you have a different system by which to evaluate the
Absolutely. I do have a different system. And in my mind, I'm looking at the most forcing sequence where I'm capturing the most. Like, I'm capturing your queen first. I'm capturing your rook first, or your rook second, and knight, and so on. And by the way, the players have gone an absolutely, totally different way. And I hate what Vishy has done, because that rook that was sitting on g1, well, it wasn't actually the rook on g1 that was sitting there, is now sitting on g7. And I'm looking at c6, and I'm thinking in my mind's eye, this king is much more vulnerable than this one. So I'm looking at the move c7, c6.
Rook's on the 2nd and the 7th, right?
Yeah, and I'm going, and also, by the way, I do have a way of bringing my queen into the game with bishop takes f6 and queen to c3, and I like the looks of this for white.
We have
for
two
Garry.
pawns hanging in the situation.
Yeah, so bishop takes f6, bishop takes c5, queen c3 is one good method for white to continue. c7, c6 looks very, very attractive, because with the rook on b7 eyeballing c6 takes b7, I would be winning with a checkmate.
Kind of spoiled for options. Okay, he's going to drop the knight back. Bishop c1 was actually
that was a nice move too, because
really big move.
Queen takes f. Vishy is really playing with fire now. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, what Vishy has done. He's played queen takes h2.
I'm going to abuse the engine on this one. Question mark given to the a4 push.
What
and
was this?
There's an option here for Vishy.
He could trade queens with queen check and queen... because he does, after all, have a passed pawn himself. I think Garry made the move knight d3 was definitely wrong. I think Garry missed an opportunity.
Two options.
Knight f4.
Knight f4. Engine wanted knight e5 instead.
Knight f4. And Vishy is looking at his opportunity.
Okay, now we trade of knights.
And by the way, we've got a threat of rook to e1, which means you have to give up the c2 pawn. And, well, there is rook here. Queen.
Wow.
Give me checkmate. Don't allow checkmate.
All right, so the queen will drop back to block. Looks for
But
the
look
trade,
at this.
Now we snap off the other h-pawn, and now we're doubled on the 7th rank.
But we don't have c6 as the threat. Oh, we do have c6 as a threat, because queen takes f5 in case of queen takes c6. That is a great move by Vishy. Bishop e5, I love that move. I'm dreaming to play the move c6, though. I really, really want to play that move c6.
Well, you're dreaming for it. Gary's got 23 seconds, perhaps, to find it. So
Where does the time go?
Where does the time go? Now down to 15 seconds on the clock. He's just going to look for the rook to slide over.
No, that's
the
a
ball
terrible...
goes completely in the opposite direction. Double
Terrible
question mark
move.
given to the move. We will have the rooks come off the board, but it's a winning position here for Vishy.
Oh, that was a terrible move by Garry. He didn't have to play that. I think we just play queen to c2 and say, give me the bishop. That's a checkmate. Vishy could win both jackpots and walk home with an extra 16,000 in his pocket.
We talked about what maybe the freedom of the overall match being over and what it might do for a player like Vishy, but he doesn't find it a blunder to follow the blunder. And we're back to zeros. 12 seconds on the clock, though, here for Garry.
Is there a perpetual?
He's going to look for it.
If the queen were on c2, the king could come right up the board and very happily...
The king's on the run.
And
king's on the run.
You can't play king d5. Queen takes b7 is...
Queen c6. Queen...
I think this is a draw.
We're back into a draw situation. He had the opportunity to block with queen coming back to c6 there for a moment.
Did he? I apologize. I didn't see that. That was even viable. Okay.
Well, because then you would look to trade off the queens. Maybe an option again there was queen c6. Queen c6.
No, he had to play queen e7 check. What is he doing? Okay, now we're in a queen ending.
He found the queen c6.
But it's an
move,
extra pawn.
It is the extra pawn. That's the thing. It's a pass pawn as well. A lot of question marks coming out with it. These are not easy moves to find or make with very little time on the clock.
No time on the clock. And we have queen c8 check. Garry originally played the move, took it back, thought the better of it, and then said, okay. So he is going to have to take on e5. He didn't do. Whoa, what happened? He lost on time.
Oh, no.
He lost on time.
Wow. I mean, it was a tough position, to say the least. You're staring at the pass pawn. You feel like you have to keep the aggression up, keep your opponent on the back foot, because you give him that one moment to breathe, and the pawn will start making its way down the board.
Trauma at the very end of the match.
And in the scramble, it is a time loss. Shoes on the other foot this time around. Well, Vishy loses on time on day 1. On day 3, he'll grab another $8,000 in our jackpot blitz match.
What a finish to a wonderful match.
But on day 2 you play it. But this is.
Wow.
Within the game.
Wow. Let's see if we can listen to what Garry is talking about in this game.
Knight c7, the Wells game, Knight c7. Of course. No, you're simply better, I thought. No, I don't think so.
I mean, the blunder was
it's decent.
Yeah, I think the missing that
but I had to play f4. If you play e4, f4, knight d6,
winning. Garry had a
like
win.
Like my 4 yesterday, I was making good f4.
Yes, this is you know, could I just say, rook g8, I don't know, this rook g8.
But actually, the game you won today, this is very interesting. Did you see some good idea for me? Because I played knight b4,
yes.
You castle d4, knight e2,
yes.
e5 takes. Okay. I thought bishop f5, but then knight g2.
It's always knight g2.
Yeah.
Knight c2, queen b1, yes, that's always cool.
And the problem is I'm not equal, it's lost.
No.
But then d3, rook d1, knight d1.
Yeah, very good, bishop e7.
Queen
b1.
Queen b1, like you couldn't say anything, no?
But this is because knight
bishop f5, knight g3, knight a2, queen b4.
Yeah, but it's...
No, queen b4. This is not possible. But I think you will just play king d... No, instead of knight g3, you should find something else. I don't know what. Maybe knight ec3 or something is also possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a hunger for chess these two have in their bellies. That after 3 days and 12 games, they're not talking just about this one. They're talking about previous games as well.
Oh, yes. Lots to analyze.
And drink it in, folks. It's very rare you get to sit courtside to two of the best who have ever do it and get to listen to them talk it through.
By the way, for me, this was one of the great joys of chess is after the game comparing notes, if you will. I didn't want to play this because I was afraid of that, and I didn't want you to get this. And chess was a mystery, and we weren't sure that we were right. We went back and we analyzed. Today, you rush to your hotel, you turn on your chess engine, and it goes blunder, 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 and you feel like an idiot.
Right.
But
the computer doesn't give you the logic behind it. It still can't, not yet. They can't yet give you the thought, and I think that's the beauty of these human discussions, right? To your point, you can say, I didn't want to do this because
I was afraid.
And I was afraid of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that they're going to be shocked when they do go back to their hotel and they do discover that the position that I have on my board was a winning moment for Garry that just kind of slipped by in the time trouble. And then it was Anand, Vishy, who won the game eventually in a bit of a time scramble that Garry lost on time.
An advantage position as well there. So maybe with more time, Vishy still finds his way to victory.
James, I find it intriguing that Vishy played his best games when the match was over. Like there was no pressure on him anymore. He could just play freely. The match had been lost, and then he just played how he likes to play with Elan and grace, and it went beautifully at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the Vichy that we talked about wanting to see.
Yeah.
And you go back to, I believe, a point he had made at a dinner preceding the event where hadn't touched this format
in a while.
In near 20 years.
That's what he said.
And I wonder how much, again, of the pressure in the moment and the uncomfortability of the format together was a little bit insurmountable.
Yeah.
Then you remove the pressure of the format and you let the man just play chess.
I bet you they were going to replay that moment that I'm talking about where it was this bishop c1 move. Where, okay, they're going even
a little further back,
yeah. Because we didn't see how those trades ended up with the bishop on g1. Takes. Yeah, this is what, and we took on d7, and Vichy took the rook on g1.
Right, and that's how we ultimately rerouted the white rook all the way to the g7 rank.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I don't know. c6, bc6. Wait, c6, bc6, rook d7, and then knight c6. And what am I going? Queen a8 or what? Oh, Queen H2? Or what am I
So they
doing?
haven't reached the position
Queen B6
that I have on my board with the...
Ah, so then this is winning.
Yes.
Because now the B pawn is no longer on the board.
Yeah.
Position was too good here to be true. So okay.
And
Position was too good here to be true.
Oh no, I played knight before
I think chess players have some of the best language.
Yeah, they do. I remember analyzing with Lev Polygaevsky, and his English was very poor. And I would show him a variation, and he would say, you are true. You are true.
Yeah.
And we have Rex Singfield and Maurice Ashley trying to congratulate the players, but they are so locked into their analysis. Maurice is
Maurice
helpless.
is a beautiful man, so is Rex, but the game of chess right now has captured these two.
Center stage. Center stage. And there is our benefactor of the chess club, Rex Singfield, congratulating both legends.
This is a tournament of firsts following the renovation of the St.
Exactly.
Louis Chess Club. We had the first decisive victory going to Garry Kasparov, now the first champion in Garry Kasparov, the first handshake given from Rex.
We're going to make it downstairs so we can do the final interview.
They're still analyzing.
They don't want to leave the board. Maurice is saying, we got some questions to ask, but we don't want to leave the board. There's more for us to get into.
People joining us late, final scores?
Final score line. Let's take a look at it. Because they entered the match with Garry Kasparov already in the winning position, 13 points to his name. But look at that down the stretch. What a day 3 here from Vishy Anand to bring it just within 2 at the end there. 11 points to his name to the 13 of Garry Kasparov and $16,000 of bonus money. All of that coming in the final 2 games of the event. He takes home $50,000 for the runner-up. It's $70K over there to Garry, and of course you can add those bottom totals to those overall prize purses.
I'm thinking of those sprinters who's coming to the wire, and they just go right by you. That bonus money, very nice.
Let's take a look at Vishy's total. When all is said and done, it's the $50,000 plus the $16K in bonus money, which brings him all the way up to a cool 66 grand. Runner-up will be his final placing. From there, let's hop on over to Garry to see how he fared over the course of 3 days. He is your 2025 Clutch Chess The Legends champion, and he'll bring home $78,000 in prize money.
Our congratulations to Garry and to Vishy for all the excitement that you two have brought us over these last 3 days.
Couldn't be more grateful to the two of them as chess players, ambassadors of chess, and we'll follow them all run down to the interview room.
I think Rex and Joy and Maurice are getting lost. The club is so big.
I think if the camera guy runs, he might get there just about the time the elevator makes it to the bottom floor.
By the way, there you are seeing what a beautifully large chess club we have. They're getting in the elevator, they're going down to the first floor.
I'm remiss to say, I was had never stepped foot into the hallowed grounds of this
shocked.
chess club
I'm
before the renovation. So I've only seen what it is now, which is absolutely glorious.
Yes.
But maybe you can speak to.
Well, think in terms of mud and even the lack of a structure. I mean, when I'm saying renovation, I mean it was a major renovation. It's a historic building, and we had to get the permits for the elevators, just to put in the elevators, take things down. Lots and lots of marble and what is it when they have the mill work on the wood? You know, you want to preserve all of that. So it's a historical renovation. And you want to pay your respects to the building and maintain that beautiful turn-of-the-century quality that it has.
Well, the cameras are catching some of its glory, but if you ever can find your way out here to St. Louis, get to the St. Louis Chess Club. Not just the club itself. Again, for me, standing on that street corner.
Right.
And seeing an entire block dedicated to chess is really something special. But if you're not done with chess, don't worry, because there's more chess coming your way across all of October. In just a couple days' time, we are right back here for the U.S. Chess Championship, the 12th through the 25th, both the Chess Championship and Women's Chess Championship here in the United States. And we'll follow that up directly with Clutch Chess Champions, the Showdown. A very similar event, though, playing standard chess over the course of the 27th to the 29th, with the biggest names in modern chess stepping onto the stage.
Yeah, fantastic. Also, the U.S. National Championships for the Open and the Women are also in conjunction with the World Chess Hall of Fame as we honor new inductees coming into both the World Chess Hall of Fame as well as the U.S. Chess Hall of Fame. So it's always nice to invite those players. I believe Jan Timman, Judith Polgar, Vlastimil Hort, great legends of the game that are being inducted at this year's ceremony. As you see, Maurice getting ready to interview our winner.
Yeah, sitting down getting all wired up and making sure they're ready to go. I think they are. So let's head over to the St. Louis Chess Club where Maurice Ashley is standing by with your champion, Garry Kasparov.
Anything, by the way. Garry, congratulations, first of all, on winning the match. You were dominating throughout, winning 4 games, but in terms of result. But in terms of actual games, it was a very difficult fight.
Yeah, it was a very difficult fight, and I think that I was extremely lucky in many games. And I'm still, curious how come that, there were a few moments where just everything, the table could be turned. So actually, I played few good games. It's probably those I have not won. So as for the yesterday, I would prefer to lose game 1 or to force a draw, which I could do easily, but to win game 2, which I played very well, and I missed win in game 2 yesterday. And also I was doing well in game 2 in the first day. So this is maybe just it's probably a fair balance. I mean, of course, I just totally relaxed stuff today after game 2. And to play knight a5 is just, it's like it's giving a point. After knight e7, black had very decent position.
So you think it's very difficult to actually keep your energy up for the last 2 games, even though there was a lot on the line?
Yeah, I'm not a professional player, so this is, as you know, I had very little expectations before the match. So
I know you told me in Brazil.
I told him in Brazil.
You had great chances.
Yeah. I was quite surprised to find myself in this situation. So there's today, and when I won the match, it just somehow just total relaxation. Yeah, and also maybe just just in this depths of my mind, I thought it's not fair. I tried. It's not that I just lost on purpose. Second game actually it was a very interesting one. So I wanted some complications, and it was a lot of fun. So, but again, he just vicious still. He knows how to deliver. So I think it's interesting. This second game today, second BLITZ game was interesting. But
yeah, I saw you guys analyzing. Let me ask you this question: what do you feel was, as you look at it now, the 12 games, what was the significant differences or the factors that allowed for you to win in this? I know you said luck, but there was also real playing issues as well, no?
Yeah, I think I was more resilient than he expected. So, and somehow except this is the very last game. So I did bet in BLITZ. Was it in the time trouble? To my great surprise. So I did better. And I think it was probably he had some psychological discomfort. So it didn't go well for him. Just day one, and I think his score against me historically is bad, and I think it's somehow, probably just the ghosts of the past visited him during the game. I mean, today was probably winning game one, so this is, but again, it's luck is luck, but again, I tried to make sure that, luck would be with me.
30 years ago on October 10th, as you know, you clinched the match that gave you the title against him 30 years ago. Today, you do the same. Any superstition around the October 10th date for you? I don't know. It's actually the first person who mentioned October 10th. I didn't even think that it was 30 years ago. Yeah, but again, I'm pleased that I managed to play some decent chess here. It's tough. I mean, I have to say that I woke up this morning and there's so much pressure. And I'm not used to this kind of pressure. So I try to enjoy myself, and I think I got it. I got it right. You delivered. Final question for you. You inaugurated the chess club with the first win in the new chess club, and now the first, not just win an individual game, but also the first win of a match in the chess club. What does it mean to you to be able to come back to St. Louis from people who have been so generous for chess and where you have helped to build an empire?
Look, I think that's a phenomenal place. I said many times, it always, reminded me of the great respect the game of chess commanded in the Soviet Union, so the country where I grew up, and I think just building this, chess temple in the United States was a great accomplishment of Rex and Ginny, and that's why I come back every year to play chess. I mean, it's not what I'm supposed to do, but I feel it's my kind of also sacred duty to come here and just to entertain people, even though my chess abilities are kind of, it's a pale shadow of what it was before.
Gary, we love to see you fight. That fighting spirit never changes. Thanks so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you all in the studio.
Our congratulations to Gary. Really well done.
A massive congratulations, and I would say what a feat he's accomplished. He talks about this being the temple of chess of the United States.
Hallowed ground.
And we are ever so grateful for him making another journey here. Let's talk final thoughts here as we exit the first ever Clutch Chess, the Legends.
My congratulations for both players, truly, but I really do mean to say thank you, Vichy, for making it a match at the end. Congratulations on winning those 2 jackpot BLITZ games and getting a little bit in there. We missed you in the first 2 days, but that day 3 was fantastic. I really enjoyed everything about day 3. 3 decisive games. What's there not to like,
That's what we
James?
wanted. Fireworks down the home stretch.
And we
these
got it.
2 delivered. We couldn't ask for 2 better ambassadors for the game of chess. 2 better legends to showcase the newly renovated St. Louis Chess Club. But that is ultimately going to do it for the first ever Clutch Chess, the Legends, here in St. Louis. I want to appreciate you all who came along this journey with us. I want to thank you so much.
I want to thank you, James. Thank you. Your first time in St. Louis to do the broadcast.
Hopefully the first of many.
Hopefully.
If you'll have me back, I will be here. In production, thank you to you as well. We're going to shut things down here in St. Louis, but mark your calendars because in just a couple days' time, the U.S. Chess Championships are right around the corner. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire broadcast team here in St. Louis, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other. Good night.
Good night from St. Louis.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.